Hello, friends. Happy Saturday. Happy November. If I start snacking, don't pay me no mind. What are y'all doing? Are y'all putting up y'all Christmas trees? I thought about it. I might do it this upcoming week. I am gonna eat this if nobody get in. These are my favorite things from Walmart. Any of them. The one with the pretzels and the little Reese's, the ones with the chocolates and the little caramel candies, just the regular apples and the caramel. I eat all these. And I like the little cartoon ones that have like a face and ears for kids and it's like goldfish and stuff. I love all of those in the little produce section. So open it. Come on. Okay. I probably need a napkin. And I don't have one. See. Ah! That's why I need a napkin. Hey. I feel like YouTube used to send out more alerts. Like my other accounts, it never says Pretty Daisy just on live. Like, shouldn't I have gotten an alert on my other account that said that? I never get them. But I'm actually not logged in on another account. Let me see. Yeah, no, it didn't. But I get alerts for literally everything else. So I don't know why it does that. Unless I don't have oh, I'm gonna have on post notifications. Oops. Okay, now it says I'm looking at myself on the oh, that's so weird. Oh, that's crazy. Turn your post notifications on. Okay, yeah, turn your post notifications on, and also my coaching books are back open with way more. I need a napkin. Way more flexible. But didn't I find out I had wipes in here the last live with way more flexible availability? So for those who prefer or need it mornings, that's an option at the time. And also lunch is an option. So I think that a few people have popped in and out, but nobody's like stayed in. I don't know what that means. I should just start talking. Or if I should go take a nap. It is 1 o'clock on Saturday though. I don't think this is like a November word per se. Like I feel like I've said this before. I may be giving it to you right now in November. We may be talking about it right now in November, but it feels like one of those like for the rest of your life type of things. And also like I told y'all I can also feel when he's like ushering you into like a new season. Like I'm ushering you into a new season. It feels like that, like a parting word. Not like he's leaving us, parting word, but parting like you're parting this previous season, this previous chapter, this previous era. I said it like era. You're parting ways with like a certain mindset, a certain heart posture. Like it feels like one of those words. So that's why I didn't necessarily put November in the title. I did put the shift, and I wanted to know if y'all felt that in the spirit um lately, because I won't say I just started feeling it like yesterday or the day before yesterday. I really was feeling it well before then, but I wasn't ready to articulate, all of it. But yesterday I was able to start like formulating the words behind what I was feeling, and I wrote it all out this morning. And I actually watched Twitches last night. I was supposed to watch Twitches 2 this morning, but I haven't had a chance to do that because now it's afternoon. But it was crazy because a lot of what I was feeling, I feel like that was happening in the movie. And so I was able to, translate it over to like kingdom terms and principles. And I don't know, I'm really grateful for that because we can get so caught up in so many things. And it's like, but you can also miss like where God was trying to meet you or where he couldn't meet you in that moment. So it made me really happy watching Twitches last night. Like the little girl in me has been ecstatic all year. Like I was actually crying at the end, and my daddy was laughing at me. It was like, man, I'm like, I hadn't seen it in so many years. I loved it growing up, but it was just like it was so like simple, and like I could see why I loved this as a child. It was dramatic, and I was like, but this is like a real deal message. Like this is good. So there's some of that in here, but that it just tied into what I was already, thinking about. So that kind of excited me. But by the title, the shift and the power will never balance. Like I was originally feeling a little bit of like the tables are turning, and I was feeling a little bit of like I was even saying in earlier words this year, I took the power back in my life. It was a little bit of that, but it was so much deeper than that. I couldn't ignore it. Like when I feel him tugging at me like a deeper level, I have to like not investigate, but I have to go like I gotta go like study and see like what he's saying. I gotta let him give me the deeper revelation. And so it was more to it than just like the tables are turning, because I feel like sometimes some of the stuff we say it ignores like it ignores like the real deal biblical principle behind it, or like the kingdom like mandate behind it. I don't know, but I have to go figure out how that translates to like God in his kingdom and like what the Bible says. I have to do that no matter what I'm feeling. So I couldn't just leave it at that. Like, I don't know. The tables do be turning, but there's a reason why they turn, and there's a reason why they always turn in a certain direction. Like you cannot stay when you really belong to him, you cannot stay down the way wickedness and darkness and evil will try to make you stay down. Like even in me saying that, anybody that's trying to do that, they're just trying to control and manipulate. The devil is trying to control and manipulate God's children. He's trying to manipulate and control the outcome of their lives. Like he's a loser, we know that, but then he hops in people and then they are now losers and they try to do the same thing. And so it's always funny because it's like ain't no way you thought that was going to, I don't know what you thought it was going to do. And that's why I've been so concerned, genuinely concerned about people like this year, because I was trying to be funny at the beginning of the year, and I was like, I already know if you try me, like you are, I don't want to say nothing like rude or offensive, but like if you try me, or insensitive, it's not really rude or offensive, it's insensitive. If you try me, I know that you don't have like the mental capacity, or or you are possessed. I was jokingly saying that, and I don't think I ever uploaded it, but I had the video on my phone at the beginning of the year. Like, I already know what's up with somebody when they try me. Like, something is wrong with you. And I kind of I've been feeling bad for those people, and y'all know me. Like I'll get in. Okay, let's rewind. I will get in this mode where like I'm very angry, very irritated, very annoyed. But then I like take time, I give all that to God. He exchanges me. And so he gives me like compassion and wisdom and understanding and like a lens to see people differently. The mistake I've made my whole life, and I think this is part of the shift. Like I said, you probably part in ways with old patterns, mindsets, whatever the case may be. But the mistake I've made my whole life was like people would do me so wrong, so scandalous, do these things, and then me being the sweetheart that I really am, I really would like get over it. Now I wouldn't forget because a lot of people that got caught up this year, like that's your pattern with me. Like this is literally like just what you do, and you're not gonna stop again because you're possessed or you literally don't have the mental capacity. Like you, something is wrong with you. But I always kind of get over it, and I would let them like back into my life, but I feel like that was a big point for me this year, like the creating the boundaries, but like keeping them up. It don't matter if time has gone by because a lot of toxic people will do that. They'll never say sorry. They'll never take accountability. It's just like time went by. She should be over it. And that's usually what would happen. Time will go by and I would be over it. And if I'm being honest with y'all, I am over a lot of things that have transpired, even stuff that happened this year, last year. I'm over it, but the boundary is not leaving. Like that act is why the boundary is up. And in some instances, there's literally nothing you can do or say to make me put that boundary back down. And so I would tell y'all like over the years, I'd be like, y'all ever just feel bad for the devil? Like, dang, you are really going to hell. And then if I would feel like that, then of course I feel like that about the people. Like they was just going through a hard time. They don't know no better. This. But then I keep doing that and I keep letting them cross these boundaries. And then they keep doing stuff that is detrimental, harmful to me. So I feel like in my life this year, it was like, okay, when are you gonna learn, Megan? Like I'm gonna keep letting them do this stuff. I'm gonna keep letting these weapons, form. I don't think they ultimately ever prosper, even if for a moment, even if for a season, even if for a time it looks like they prosper. I always get back up. I don't want to say I'm the bounce back queen, but that's kind of what happens. That is what happens when you believe in God. And I have been praying for resilience for years. And so the weapons may seemingly prosper, but they don't ultimately truly prosper. And I feel like I wrote that down. Yeah, I did. I did. They don't ultimately prosper. And so I had to learn that. Like you moving like the devil, but there's a reason why the devil can't, like God never, the devil's not truly repentant. Let's start there too. Like he's not truly repentant, but the devil is never going to heaven. He's never going to have that access to God. He's never going to be in his presence like that. Like you did what you did, you made that move, you tried, and it's and that's the consequence. And some people I feel like they got eternal consequences with me. Like I know I'm not God, but it was like, nah, that was your last time. I'm not uh bitter, and I thank God for that. Like I reshared those lives, and I was really telling y'all way too much, but I reshared those lives, and it was like I should be bitter or angry or at least on some get back, but that's just it ain't in me. Like, and I don't ever want it to be in me. It's not in me. Like I think about it sometimes, like I could, but it's like I don't know. It's not in me, and so I feel like it's just this shift of me just understanding how I am, how I'm built, and like I know I'm gonna keep being sweet. I had to learn boundaries. I had to learn to like protect myself and still, because a part of me is on a little bit of like I wish you would though, because now I have learned different things and I am gonna defend myself, and I am like I really wish you would. Like it's a couple people I want you to try to talk me crazy. It's a couple people like I want you to ask me why you are blocked, and I want you to do it in front of people so I can answer publicly while you're blocked. Like I don't need to listen. So it's a shift. I know that was a lot of words, but it's a shift. And I feel like I've struggled with so many things. I don't even know. I'm trying to eat this and talk. I've struggled with so many things like my whole life. So it's not like a shift of like just from the last year or so or whatever. Like this is a shift, like my life shift, a shift in my life and my experiences and like how I handle things, how I approach things, how I react to things, how I see things. Like it's a shift. So hey, it says a couple people are on and somebody liked it. Um, so yeah, that's the title. The power will never balance. And the first note is Your presence makes them feel weak. And then I put because they are. I'm not finna lie. There's no point in lying. They are weak. And just like I had to be very honest with myself, like I'm weak for how I let weak people, make me feel or see myself, or how I didn't stand up to them. Like that made me weak. So one thing I'm not gonna do is lie. And so people who in your presence they feel weak, they are weak, because I don't think anybody should feel weak. Oh no. I don't think anybody should feel weak in anybody's presence like that. Like I've been, apparently, not because I've tried to, but I've been intimidating people my whole life. It didn't matter if they was older, it didn't matter if they was younger, it didn't matter if it was a man. Like it is what it is. But they feel weak because of what's in them, what's ruling in them, what is you know, sitting on the throne of their heart, and it's not Jesus. And same with me, because my response to stuff was very weak, but that's because he wasn't on the throne of my heart, right? Like it goes both ways. But your presence makes them feel weak because they are. Now imagine somebody working for the enemy going live and they're teaching somebody this. Now I've never actually ran across that. I've seen like videos and books and stuff, and like how to dominate, or how to stuff like that. But I think that's a part of the demonic network. Like the devil is what makes people think like you know you make them feel weak, and it's all for the wrong reasons, because you're loud, because you're a bully, because you make fun of, like, whatever it is, like you make them feel weak, you try to hurt their feelings. That's not truly weakness in the same sense. Like is different in its levels. But imagine how I'm on here and I'm explaining it like this. They're doing the opposite for the devil's kingdom. That would actually be kind of insane. But they are weak, and we know that about bullies. That's why they do that. And they feel very intimidated by you. And so 2 years ago, I was making a reel, and it was like it went from, I would be around certain people and it would make me uneasy. It would make me, like kind of squirm. And that's what I'm saying. It's people I know who are like, they feel good about themselves because they're able to intimidate you like that. But again, that is the devil. You're making me uncomfortable, when actuality, I initiated that in you. I just did not realize that. Like, when I came in, my presence made you squirm and you uncomfortable because of the demons in you, because of the devil in you. Okay. And so if you spent your whole life being kind of victim to that, or preyed on, like, I'm gonna tell y'all this. I was in a situation at work last year, and it really upset me because I really liked the girl and I never had any problems with her, but she was trying to be all big and bad in a meeting. And she did all that with one of the nicest women from the other company, one of the most soft-spoken women from the other company. Like, you don't ever try to do all that big bad stuff with somebody that's gonna talk back to you. Like, you don't never do that with the mean people that work for them, but you want to act all big and bad, and you did it with one of the sweetest people on the call. That is weak to me. Like, if you want to do that with somebody that's like that. You want to fight somebody, you want to physically fight somebody, go fight somebody that like to fight just like you. People don't ever want to do that. You want to talk to somebody crazy, you want to pop off at the mouth, go do that to somebody who want to do that with you. You pick up somebody your own size. Like, that's why they tell bullies that, but they never want to do that. And in that moment, like, I still like her, but I lost a lot of respect for her, because I was like, why would you do that? Like, who does that? And I think it made me mad, because I know that's how people have always done me. I don't like, I be saying I don't like confrontation, but I'm not sure if that's 100% true. I don't like unnecessary drama. Like, when it comes to certain things, I don't mind confronting you. Like, you're not gonna pick on nobody in front of me, you're not gonna be mean to no little kids in front of me. Like, it's certain things you're just not gonna do. I don't mind confronting you for that. But I felt like when it was like unnecessary stuff and stupid stuff, I don't like confrontation in that regard. Like, no, I'm not gonna go ask somebody like, is there an issue? I noticed that I ain't never been that type ever. I ain't never been that type. Like, that's unnecessary confrontation to me. But I also don't like, I've always understood bullies because I was always bullied, and I was that little girl that, like, I soak in everything to this day. When I was a child, I soaked in everything, and I learned a lot from not even my own experiences. I learned a lot watching TV. So, you know, I like the TV shows where you learn stuff. And I would watch the TV shows and it'd be the episode about bullying because people actually do create stuff so that kids you know, understand that. And it will always be the same thing. Like, a bully is just a mean person. A bully is a coward. Like, I really truly did believe that. And so when I would be in different situations after being a certain age, because when I was younger, I didn't know that, like a younger child, like I was getting bullied and stuff. Because even me and God have been talking, like, I can't really say I've been getting bullied lately or, you know, as an adult, but people have tried it. Like I told y'all, I was watching that girl and she was like, what do you mean? Like, do I let people bully me? Like, do people try? Like, exactly. Now, I think with me, it's like they try, but I also let them kind of succeed because I don't say nothing. Like, I already know what I'm dealing with, but I would still absorb it. Okay, so I'm kind of getting a little off. That's a lot of words. Sometimes it be going too fast. I was rewatching my live and I was like, I talk so fast and people always say something about it. I wish y'all knew how fast my brain moved. Like, I struggle to get the words out as fast as I'm thinking them or connecting them, and then you add in prophecy. Stop, right? So um people never want to pick on somebody their own size. And so I would realize that growing up. I'm like, you only doing all that because, and me and my mom was just talking about this the other week. You're doing all that because I'm not the one that's going to, like, you know, I'm not finna try to fight you if you do something mean to me or if you talk to me crazy. But you will never do that with my sister because she's bigger and you know she gonna talk back and you know she actually might swing. You are doing that with me because even some of the stuff I just recently dealt with, I was like, I just don't think they would do that to Morgan. Like, I don't think that's what it is. And even in or Eagle. Even in school, I remember one of my friends, she was like, you notice how they always try that stuff with you and they never try it with me? And she was like, because you already know what I'm gonna do if they try that with me. That's why they keep doing it to you. And I remember she was trying to tell me, like, stand up for yourself, Megan. Like, that's why they do that. But bullies never, and I mean never, they never pick on nobody their own size. Because Satan finna bully who? Who is he finna bully? Not God. You get what I'm saying? Like, all he can do is try to harass and bully God's children who don't fully know what their power and authority is in him. And that's what we're gonna talk about. But that's all he really can do. He don't pick on nobody his own size, because if you pick on somebody your own size, they're gonna handle you. God already kicked Satan out of heaven. Like, you already not coming up here, so he can't pick on God. You know, like, they don't do that. And so even in me saying that right now, because I start having a vision, you have to become somebody their own size, like in maybe like what you can't see. Like, yes, I'm 5'2", I only weigh however much I weigh. I was talking about it on Snapchat, but I am still relatively little. And so if you're getting pushed around by somebody that's say they are taller than you, say they are stronger than you, like, you know, they might could hit you and it hurt. You get what I'm saying? You might swing back and it not hurt because you're not that strong. You get physically. You have to become somebody in stature, spiritually and mentally and emotionally, to where it don't even appear like you not they size. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, pick on somebody your own size. And so that's why certain stuff I don't like. Like, why are you being mean to these kids? Why are you being mean to this baby? Like, that's a prime example of, no, go talk to another grown up like that. Go talk to another mean grown up like that. Actually, like somebody like you. A bully never does that. A bully never does that. Okay, so they like to. I've been watching Transformers. I watched all 6 of them this week, and that's how the Decepticons did the humans. And when you think about that, the Decepticons really were bigger, and they would tell. I don't like how they called Sam boy. I never noticed that. I don't know if it was reminding me of slavery or what, but I didn't like that. And they were like, "Come here, boy," and I don't like this. And he's like, we love to hear the sound of your little feet running from us. All this. The Decepticons was bullies. They were just mean bullies. They had nothing going on for themselves. Why you got to bother them? You know what I'm saying? But that's what people like. They like to hear you running in fear because you're scared of them, because you're bigger than them, because you seemingly have, you know, these better weapons. Like, even on the third one. Yeah, the third one, when it's the girl that's not Megan Fox. Tyrese, in one of the fight scenes in the end, he's like, why do the Decepticons always get the good stuff? Right, because it kind of appears like that. Like, where did they get these weapons? Even on I got so much free time. The sixth one, uh, with Anthony Ramos, and they're fighting. His name is Scourge, and Scourge has all the power from Unicron, basically. Like Unicron, the super evil one who feeds on other planets. He um when he has servants that work for him and do his, that's a whole word, when he has servants that work for him and do his bidding, okay, call it that, they receive like Unicron's like brain and strength and mass destructive power and all, like they get all that from him. But what they don't have, and I love that I'm me. I don't care how big I am. I don't care how many weapons you got. What they don't have at the end of the day, so we're not talking well in the movies. So if you keep with the movies, they don't have heart. And that's why them puny little humans still end up victorious at the end. Sam compared to a Decepticon, Sam should be stepped on. You get what I'm saying? But he got heart. He don't give up. He's resilient. You get what I'm saying? But then when you talk about us as humans, what they don't have, when you talk about a mean bully or somebody that works for the devil, so they have the devil's mind, they have the devil's approach, they have the devil's weapons of that, whatever you want to call it, that don't ultimately prosper, they don't have heart. And the difference between the movie and us in real life, in my heart, is Jesus Christ. You don't have that. And last I checked, ain't nobody beating him. You know what I'm saying? So it's a different type of shifts. It's, you hear all these things over the years. You struggling with different things. You trying to get past different things, and you need to know who behind you. You need to know who coming in the room with you. Because I made that rule 2 years ago, and I was telling them I was more confident about who I am and how I irritate people's demons. But it was like, I didn't realize it was this bad though. Like time goes on, it's like, are you really that pressed over me? Like a grown man, no matter what it is, like you, there's no way you're that pressed. There's no way you're that threatened by me. Like, why would you be? But you don't understand what they feel when you come in. And it's a power can't nobody touch. You ain't touching it. And so when you really understand that, because I feel like even when I didn't understand, I was still a problem. And I said that in a lot. Like, you've been a problem. You've been a problem. But then when you really understand who's with you, who you with, like when you really understand that, like, you become a different type of problem. That's why I'm like, I low key wish you would. I wish you would. I kind of do. I want to see how I react to certain things now. Like I want you to try me. And I've been working on, y'all know, like not acting crazy, not acting out of character. But it is kind of like, okay, I feel a little different now. Like, would I be strong enough to just flat out ignore it, not even give it any attention? Because I was thinking about that today too. Like when we pay attention to certain things, you are exerting, you are exchanging something when you give it attention. So a part of me always knew that too, because that's what my parents would try to tell me sometimes, like, oh, just ignore it. But when somebody really trying you like that, it's like, how am I supposed to sit up here and keep ignoring this? You know what I'm saying? So would I be strong enough to genuinely ignore it because they are so irrelevant? But like a Decepticon, you can't ignore a Decepticon trying to destroy Earth. You got to fight back. You get what I'm saying? But in some situations, if it's shady comments, shady remarks, even down to like I was debating on telling you about this dream because I don't know if I have yet this year. Even down to like deliberate acts to interfere and hurt you. And it's like I noticed it, but and I peeped it. And even me and God was having conversations about it. But do I give you the satisfaction of acknowledging it, of addressing it, of even letting you know that it bothered me? You get what I'm saying? So I'm wondering how I would react. Like, or would I say something back and check you so you know, like, don't bother me anymore? Or I will talk back now and let's see who wins in that type of contest. I don't know. I'm curious. But on that same note, really, really quick, I reshared the they've been trying me, but I'm resilient for real. And I made that in March after a lot of stuff happened. And I ended up having a dream. I really don't know if I already shared this. So if I'm resharing this, I'm resharing it. But I ended up having a dream, and one of these weak people who teamed up with another weak person. And guess what? You still didn't win. You still didn't keep me down, right? Like you have to understand that. But I'm talking about all that. They purposely, because I woke up this morning and I was telling my mama, I was like, they did it on purpose. Like they planned that. Like I knew they was in cahoots, but they really like took the time to plan that. So in the dream, how many people are here? It's only 3 people. Hey, Elijah. Hey, Savannah. In the dream, look, mama acting like if I whispered, anybody, if you come back and watch it, you'll see it. But okay, I'm gonna share because it may be people going through this, or you may have gone through something similar. Okay, in the dream, I was here at the house, and I'm thinking about it because it's all transpired right here in the front of the yard. In a dream, I was here at the house with my sister, and this stuff was revealed. And it basically, what I told y'all happened at the wedding and stuff. Like before the wedding, God exposed it. At the wedding, I knew what was happening, all that. So all this was happening, and when it was revealed, we ended up outside of the house. And that's something me and God was talking about today too. Like it does kind of upset me a little bit that I let snakes in my house, that I let people who works for the devil in my house and let them be near me, let them be around me. That does kind of bother me. But even in a dream, I think I was learning boundaries or realizing boundaries, because when that stuff started happening, we came outside of the house. Like, so the whole showdown went out here in the yard. We were still in my house, but you're not going to be like in my house. And that's truly like my heart. Like when you talk about your house and it's a spiritual thing, that is your heart. And so even then I handled it like outside of my house. And they were telling me, wow, that's probably why I was thinking about that today. They were telling me like I did this, and I was like, get out. Get out. Like that's all the attention I gave it. Like I hear what you're saying, but I didn't even acknowledge that I heard what they were saying. I was like, get out of my house. And they were like trying to make me just get a reaction out of me. Like that's what I'm saying. Like how would I handle certain things now? Like would I be able to straight up ignore? But in a dream, I mean, I did for the most part. Like I did. And so they were getting upset and riled up because I wasn't getting upset about what they did. And I guess not upset the way they thought I would be upset, like breaking down, hysterical, crying in real life, like how that translates in real life, getting depressed about it, falling off about it. The stuff this year, it was never because of what transpired with that situation. This year, if I fell off, if I was down bad, it wasn't even that. It was just from March to September. I was really locked in on my new job. I had went through so much at work. I was trying to focus on making a good name for myself at the new job and all of that. So I didn't care about certain stuff. And I feel like I said that in a live too, like thinking you're relevant when I know I got bigger fish to fry. And Nicki Minaj says that in a song. Like no one girl could be my op that offends me. She says that in a song. And that's really how I feel when a trifling friend, a family member, whoever it is, like you thinking you are problematic enough is bothering me. Like that's really how I be feeling. And then when they realize that and they try to gang up, and it's like all 10 of y'all combined cannot amount to what I actually have to deal with outside of friends and family. You know what I'm saying? Like they're trying to destroy me at work. It's a different time, and that's my livelihood. I'm making money out here. You know what I'm saying? Y'all are so irrelevant, but it's so annoying though that it's like now I got this extra coming at me when I'm already dealing with this other stuff. And that's not to include what I have gone through, spiritually. Dr. Jolene just made this word. I cried when I read it. She was saying the type of dreams and stuff that you have, the demonic activity, the nightmares, whatever terminology she used and stuff. She was like, all that is stopping. And she was saying, you're so strong, like you don't even realize how strong you are, and this that power. That's why it's a different shift. That's why it's ending, because it's a different shift. You don't even realize how strong you are because the stuff that it don't work when you're awake, so they have to try you when you're unconscious. I'm sleep. And I felt like that my whole life. Like I would wake up and I would tell y'all, like, I'm always being harassed. It don't matter if I'm like in public, at family functions, at work. Somebody is always worried about me. And I've been picking up on Obsessed this morning. I was like, oh God, who is it now? Like, why y'all don't know how to just mind your business and not watch me? But it's always felt like that. And it was so frustrating to me because it's like, I felt like that even in my sleep. Like I can't even sleep in peace. Why are y'all always bothering me? And when I was sick last year and I was stressed out again about work because everybody else and everything else is so irrelevant to me, when I was stressed out about work and getting really, really sick, all I was dreaming about was the warfare that my family brought to me spiritually. So I'm awake and dealing with real stuff in real life, but every time I go to sleep, it's not enough for my family members. Like, and I'm trying to fight them in my dreams. And I'm like, this is too much. But anyways, Dr. Jolene, but just think about what I'm saying. Like 2024 felt like a hit was on my life. 2025 has been hilarious, actually. But 2024, like, why do I have to get attacks from every single area? And it still ain't take me out. Praises to the Most High, right? But that's how strong you are. Do you get what I'm saying? Like it's one of me. It's just one Megan, but the devil gotta use fake friends to try to literally kill me. Literally, like 2024 is like, ain't no way all this happened to me in 1 year. Ain't no way, guys. Fake friends to try to kill you. Family to spiritually gang stalk you and really stalk you in real life. Like they do this in real life, right? People at work to try to make you bow out, leave, feel worthless about yourself. People at church because they're so threatened by your anointing. Like, why is it a problem in every arena, God? And it's because you are a problem. You've been a problem, but not the kind of problem like you are the problem, but like you gonna solve it. You don't recognize how much power is truly in you. And so when you realize I think she said she got corporate giants that's coming against her or something like that. In the next part, Nicki Minaj. No one girl could be my op. It offends me. Like you thinking you weird. If you taking a position in my life as an op, you are immediately irrelevant. Immediately. Like you not finna win against who? Me and Jesus, you not finna win. You're not about to win. And so no one girl can do that. And then they're stupid. That's why I'm trying not to say mean words. That's what I'm saying. Like either you are literally dumb or you're possessed or you're both. And so they're so dumb, literally, because I don't think the enemy is smart. So anybody he influencing, you stupid. You're so dumb that you think if you gang up with more dumb people, you're gonna be able to take me out. You're not. That's not how that works. You're not. Okay, so I digress. In the dream, I told her to get out, and my sister had my back, and we was like tussling in the yard. I was like, okay, no, this is giving, but it wasn't like fighting back how she wanted me to fight back. It was like, get out of my house. That's why we tussling, like that type of tussling. And then she started recording me on her phone camera. And she was like, did you hear what I said? Did you hear what I said? And I was like, yes, I heard what you said. I don't care. And then she looked so upset because I didn't care. And so then she tried to like go deeper, like make the wound worse, like dig deeper in the situation. And she was like, oh, well, I slept with him. I dreamt this real life. Can't make this up. I dreamt it in real life. She's like, oh, I slept with him. And I looked at her and I think she thought that I was gonna, that ain't me. That's not me. That'll never be me. Okay. I told y'all, even if it do feel like an L, I take it with grace. My daddy ain't raised me to be like that type of woman. I don't know how to explain it, but that ain't how it's going down. So when she said that, I was like, good. I'm glad you did. And she was shocked again. So this is like the second time in a dream. Like I never give people what they want. Even if I'm maybe in a moment just pretending, like, or I'm putting on a brave face, I'm not gonna give you what you want. I'm not giving you that satisfaction. And by the time I'm in a place where I can even admit that, it don't matter because now I'm really up. You know what I'm saying? So she's like, and I slept with him. And I was like, good. I hope you got pregnant. And then she looked really shocked. And then she got upset and was upset, like how she wanted me to cry and be distraught. That was really her. And then the dream ended. So it was so much happening in that dream, especially with the recording me part and trying to get a reaction. Like, I'm never going to act like that. I'm not that type of person. I really do have good character. I know how to act in public. Like, even when I do snap, it's with a certain level of class and just, I ain't never been tasteless. It is never giving that. And it won't ever get that in the name of Jesus. And so all that happened with me, I really don't think she would have tried that with nobody else. It's just me because I'm not, I fight people differently. And when I say I fight people differently, I really do lead that to God. Because every single time I thought about get back, God is like, no, that's mine. And I'm like, okay. Like, for real, that's mine. Vengeance is the Lord's. And God really do handle people in a way that we never could. And even in the moments where I do say something back or I snap back. I don't know if y'all have seen the Walter Boys, but when we first watched it, my mom was like, oh my God, you are Jackie all day. I was like, what? She was like, that's you. And that girl, in like one of the first few episodes, she was being so mean and nasty to her. And I mean, speaking on stuff that, like, I don't want to ruin it if you haven't seen it, but like speaking on stuff that had to have hurt that girl. And that's how my family act. Like that's why I never understood that. Like, how low do you have to move? How low do you have to be? Like, the devil don't play fair, and neither do people that are influenced by him. Like, why are you trying to hit below the belt? Why are you bringing up stuff that you know anybody in a right mind know that would hurt anybody, that situation would have broke most people, would have hurt people. And they that's how I know they've always tried to break my spirit, because it's like, why are we discussing this? Why are we trying to publicly talk about these things? You get like, it's a weird It's a weird power trip. It's all in the notes. They're trying to put you in that vulnerable position, and they showing you how little they think of you or respect you or care about your feelings. But anyways, she was talking reckless to Jackie. Like, them was grounds to fight, in my opinion. Them was grounds to fight. And Jackie didn't even do nothing. She just said something. She didn't yell. She didn't raise her voice. She just said something matter of factly to the girl and checked her. And then afterwards, the friends with Jackie, they was like, oh, that was so good. You told her. And she was like, I shouldn't have said that. Like, that was mean. I shouldn't have said that. That's my mom was like, that is you. Because even when people righteously deserve whatever clapback I can come up with, no matter how good and satisfying they may have felt in that moment to get them back or to try to inflict that same, like, it ain't even inflicting. Like, I feel like in certain situations, if somebody's trying to project and throw something off on you, if I deflect in a way to where whatever you just did hits you right back, you're gonna learn not to do that to me, because you're gonna get that right back. But even when I do that, I feel kind of bad. Like, I could have handled that, or I could have differently. I could have ignored that. I could have not, because ultimately, you know what it is you knowing that you stoop down to their level, which shows that you are not on their level. They are beneath you, quite literally. The devil is beneath you. He's under our feet. And so I think for me, I always feel like this. I don't even want to know if it's, I don't not know. I don't even think it's conviction. It is truly like in awareness of like, ew, I'm acting like you. I didn't have to do that, right? Like, like that's how I be feeling, like, ooh. So, yeah. So what have we said? Bullies are stupid, they're weak, they work for the devil, all these things, but they really don't want to pick on nobody on their own sides. They are trying to kind of get a reaction out of you. I told y'all that one instance where that girl was harassing me for weeks on end, and I kept asking her, and I think that's the shift too. For years, I've asked people to stop being mean to me. I've asked people to treat me with respect. I've asked people to be nice to me. I've asked them to stop bothering me. I've asked them to leave me alone. I ain't asking you another thing. I ain't asking nothing else. I'm not asking you anything else. And so in this particular instance, this is back in 2021, and we had so much going on. That's what I'm saying. Like, they're dumb. They're not considerate. They just don't care. They're so hell bent on trying to hurt you. It don't matter if life is already hurting you, no matter what the circumstances is, because my great uncle had just died. My dad was sick. My god nephew was like really, really sick and in bad shape. And I was telling her, like, I got a lot going on. I need you to leave me alone. Like, nicely. Like, and I shouldn't have did that, because I really should have just went ahead and blocked her, because I'd already cussed her out and that didn't work. But I should have blocked her. I should have did something, and she just didn't care. So then when I snapped, no, I hadn't cussed her out yet. When I snapped and I really cussed her out, that's when she was like, there go your true colors. Da, 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 da. Like, how is that my true colors if you have literally been harassing me, provoking me for weeks, and I have asked you to leave me alone? You didn't listen. And then when I do snap, that's my true colors. That's reactive abuse. That's how you know you are dealing with a narcissist. And that's somebody who knows they're not on your level. They don't behave, they don't move in any way, shape, form, or fashion the way that you do. And so they become literally hell bent on provoking you to behave the way they do. And if we really look at that on a spiritual level, that's what the devil does. He's trying to get anybody he can get to end up in hell with him. I want you to be fearful like me. I want you to think you better than everybody else and be prideful like me. I want you to think that you can be a better version of the original than the original, which is delusional. Okay, delusional. So anybody that's moving like that, that's the devil, and he trying to get them to go with him to hell. And see, you weren't no better than me. God kicked me out of heaven because I'm prideful and I wanted to be God, and I thought I could be better than the person that created me. Which heavy this week, like, baby, you wouldn't even know which way was up without watching me. That's another reason I block people. That's another reason I do it. Good luck. You don't even know how to exist without me, humbly. But that's what the devil did with God. And so it's your other creation, God, they ain't no better than me. Watch this. They're gonna go to hell too. They're gonna struggle with this stuff too. The devil really is salty. I never thought about that. I understood that with people, like, they want you to be on their level and they recognize that you're not. It don't matter if you're dealing with romance, men will do that. It don't matter if it's friends, family, strangers, people at work. They want to bring you down to their level. Even when people just see you happy and joyful, no matter how, it could be something like so simple. Like I was telling my mama, you can't even laugh around certain people. The moment they smell joy on you, the moment they smell joy, they about to try to take it and ruin it. Like I know people like that, but it don't matter how simple it is. If they're miserable been a word of the week. If they're miserable and they're wicked, they just want to bring you down there with them. And I'm like, yeah, I can't do that. And I know I made a live and I told y'all that, like, I'm not coming down there with you. I'm not doing it. And I really feel like that. I see so much, I follow so many influencers and just women that I really admire. And I'll never understand that either. Like, it's a choice. Inspiration versus intimidation, it's a choice. And I always choose inspiration. I don't never look at nobody and I like how they move. I like what they got going on. And I'm like, I can do this better than her. Like, you're delusional. The moment you start thinking like that, you're delusional. Something is wrong with you in the head, literally. Okay. But I look up to so many of them. And when I see people bothering them, I can see it so clearly. Like, man, don't even engage with that. Ignore that. Because some people will bother you for the attention they'll get for bothering somebody that has as much influence as you. I don't like drama pages. I don't like people who build pages and channels and businesses around telling the business of other people. Like the only reason you even have a level of, because it's not true influence. You have that worldly, fleshly popularity from discussing or being messy and petty and having drama with people who are truly in those positions purely and who really have influence. I don't like mess. I don't like I ain't never liked stuff like that. For as long as I can remember, I have never ever liked that. And so many things have just been bothering me lately. Even last year when all that stuff was happening, well, no, not that. It's a different situation. And I don't know if I told y'all about it, but I remember saying, like, you want attention so bad, I'm gonna give you some. And that's kind of where I've been lately, because a lot of we going off on I've talked about some of the stuff on the sheet, but not all of it. A lot of people, I'm realizing, they're like grown children. And I don't know if they just really didn't get attention growing up. I don't know what it is, but so many grown people act out like how children act out, and they can't. It's like they need attention to breathe, or mess and drama and gossip to breathe, right? Like that's not my lifeline. That's not my life source. Attention, drama, chaos. Like that's not me. And even if it's negative, because I work with children and they'll do that. So like, say sometimes I'll have a really big class, right? At children's church. And kids that are cool, if I have 5 students that day, they're not cool if I have 20, because now they're not getting as much attention. So some will cry, some will just straight up act out, but they're acting out while I have 20 other kids. And now you're getting on my nerve and you frustrating me, because you know how hard it is to try to divvy up and do stuff equally when I got 20 kids, but because you're not getting that attention that you need, which goes back to some other things. That's what I'm saying. Like, you don't know what they're going through at home. Maybe that is the only time they feel safe, when they're with you. Maybe that's the only time they do feel like they're getting real attention. But that's my kids at church. That's not my job if you are grown up at all. Now, understanding some people are grown-ups and they're still hurt little children, but it's like I've been dealing with way too much of that my whole life. Anyways, they will act out to get negative attention, but at least if I've got her so frustrated with me and mad at me, then at least I'm getting some of her attention. Okay, but the way I deal with that with kids is I ignore them. And then if they keep on, I embarrass them. Now, it's only been a couple of kids where the embarrassing don't work. And that kind of scared me, because I'm like, oh, you just don't care. You just need the attention. But most of the time, the embarrassment part works. So I remember the incident last year, and I was like, you want attention so bad, I'm going to give it to you. And I embarrassed her, and the post got deleted. Stop playing with me. And sometimes I feel like you have to do that. Maybe sometimes you don't. I feel like you got to show people they can't mess with me, or they can't mess with you. And I have talked about that in the live too. So keep that in mind when people are trying to poke and provoke you, because in that dream, she was literally like, she was pressed. Like, did you hear what I said? Did you hear what I said? Because I have kids that'll come back there to children's church and start cussing. What are you doing? You know we're in children's church. Why are you cussing? And laughing because they just wanted attention from me or Morgan or some of the other kids. Like, have you lost it? But they need attention. People will do stuff that they know is wrong Like you know how you was moving was wrong. And then it backfires because you were doing it to get my attention, but you did too much, and now you will never have any of my attention ever again in your life. And that's grown people. Like you will never have my attention ever. So that's been really interesting. That's not really well, I mean, that could relate to bullying because I would consider some of these people bullies, but you never know. I just think people are weird. I think a lot of people, I say weird and I need to use another word, but a lot of people are hurt children. Even people on the internet that be talking to you crazy and your comments crazy, just doing the most. Like, I'm really just gonna start saying, like, are you okay? Like it started on TikTok. And I was like, Mama, we made it. I'm getting bullied on TikTok now, right? And just grown men just being mean and nasty. And it's like, I usually delete comments, like if they're doing too much. Sometimes I say something back. Most of the sites do a pretty good job flagging it. If you're talking like too crazy to me, like they'll even hide it so nobody can see it. But I'm really at a point where it's like, are you okay? Because you can't be to behave this way. Not as a 70-year-old woman, not as a 50-year-old woman, not as a 25-year-old woman, really not even as a child, because it should be adults around you teaching you how to deal with that when you feel like that. Now, me personally, because this is what keeps me humble, I really don't know if it's because I hated attention. Like I was like, I didn't like attention because I felt like attention always attracted perverts or, jealous girls. I didn't like attention for that reason. Not even just jealous girls, jealousy, period. Like I told the lady at work that my mentor, she was like, why you don't do what you know you're supposed to be doing? I was like, because I hate how people act when I get too much attention. She was like, what? So I hate how people act when I get too much attention. I've been like that. But I also never felt like I'll be the first to say my parents weren't where I think they needed to be emotionally with me growing up and paying attention in all regards. But I ain't never felt like I didn't have attention from them. I don't know how that feels. And so that humbles me because I'm like, maybe if I grew up wanting attention from my parents like that, I would have chased it around as an adult. I don't know. So that humbles me and keeps me out of the loop of trying to figure people out. Um, but yeah, so that's the element of it. I don't have much on the back side. It's all written on this side. So the scripture that goes with this, let me drink some water. Hold on. Hey, Kiki. Hey, Heather. Savannah, you saw that post? I literally started crying. I was like, all right, Jolene, I've been doing this my whole life. I was like, so what you're saying is I'm a threat. Didn't even know it. Ain't nothing like going through it in real life, and every time you go to sleep, you're also going through it. Like, I would ask God, I would wake up crying and be like, am I gonna catch a break? Like, sir, just stressed out. Kiki, my books are back open. I said that when I first got on here, but they're back open and stuff. Yeah, people they be doing way too much. Like it's like a child. Like whenever guys start showing me like they're acting like children, that usually calms me down because I'm not a child. I'm mature. And something my uncle told me earlier in the year, it's written on here. But something he told me, it wasn't earlier in the year actually. It was a few months ago. It was in August. We were just having like a normal conversation, and he was like, Megan, you've always been wise. Like when you was a little girl, you was wise. I was like, that's crazy. Like he told me that now at 31. It wasn't crazy. He was telling me now at 31, but that's what he told me. I get that a lot. I do remember being younger and people would be like, how old are you? And I'll always just be like, I spent a lot of time with my great grandma. She was 90 something. I was at the house listening to her. Like, but I know that that's something that comes from God. And so even as a child, I was not childish. I've never been childish. And then I grew up in the house with, I was thinking about this week too, not only a soldier, but like an officer, meaning my daddy led other soldiers. You get what I'm saying? So I didn't have it ain't even a luxury. I didn't have the opportunity to be childish. Like, and that I've been thinking about a lot this week. Like, people, so this, and they can say whatever they want about me and my family and my parents. You can say whatever you want, but you can't have what we have, and you didn't also have to grow up how we grew up. I didn't have the luxury to be childish even when I was a child. You know, like my daddy ain't having that. He was never having that. Everybody's expected to be mature and doing. You get what I'm saying? Like that was the expectation. That's what's happening in his house. I didn't have the luxury to be immature and childish. I didn't have the luxury to treat people like I didn't have no sense. I didn't have the luxury to act like I didn't have no character. And so we're older. I didn't even have the luxury to make excuses. When I would be sick, I would still have to go to school. You know what I'm saying? So I've just never been a childish individual. Now, I am childlike. I'm very playful, but I ain't never been childish. It's me. And I'm saying my dad and them helped raise us like that. My mama ain't childish either. She's mature. My daddy is mature. I feel like life made him grow up fast. I feel like life made me grow up fast. You get what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, it's ultimately God. Like, so when my uncle was saying that, he's like, you was wise even when you was little. Wisdom is different than being smart. I'm also very smart. I'm not feeling. I am very smart. I had the same person, problematic. I remember she called me stupid a couple times, and I was like, stupid. Like it's just some things you can't call me ugly, and you can't call me stupid, and I'm gonna go home and really believe that I'm not stupid and I'm not ugly. What? So when my uncle said that, he didn't mean like smart, even though I was smart. I did a lot of things before I turned 5. Like I was talking very early in life, tying my shoes, doing all these things. My mom was like, you're just so advanced. Like every time people would meet you, they just be like, okay, that's one thing, right? Wisdom is different. Like I feel like you can have a gift of knowing things. God just I had that. Wisdom is the application of knowing. So if God is giving me the gift to know things, he also giving me the ability to apply what I know. That's wisdom. And I've been like that from a young age. And that was always because of my relationship with God. And so that threatens people. Like imagine coming in a room and they're not per se smart, but you are. That's going to threaten people. And that's if you're talking about schooling and stuff. Now, let me also say this because also in Transformers, because I ain't never gonna be nobody just try to play nobody or nothing. I believe you can be freakishly smart and you never went to school. And I'm talking about smart, brain smart. And that's what happens in Transformers. She said her daddy never went to school, but he knew everything about everything, right? Like you can be a long what you call them people? You can be a lifelong learner. You can be somebody that because I've actually encountered a lot of people like this in the last few years. They might not have went to college, but they're smart. They pay attention to things. They take advantage of the internet and knowledge being at your fingertips. And back in the day, I feel like other people, maybe they would have went to the library, read different books and things, or maybe they set up underneath people or listen to people who are actually knowledgeable about certain things. That's how you learn even at work. Like I don't have to go take another course. I can just go sit up underneath the person that's the SME, the subject matter expert, and I can soak in what they know, like somebody becoming an apprentice and learning all these things. You can be smart like that, not even in a specialized area. I feel like I know people who understood engineering and they ain't went to school for that. You get what I'm saying? Whereas I went to school for engineering, I'm like, I don't even understand like how that other person understand it, but I got the book sense about it. You get what I'm saying? That's one thing. I know people like that. I also know people who maybe don't even have that high of a like education. So even like their words and stuff is just different, but they have the Holy Spirit. So they can still articulate. They have that wisdom. Like my big mom and them, they didn't go to school like that, but she was smart. You know what I'm saying? Like, but she was wise. And so I'm never gonna play with nobody. It ain't about that. But I'm talking about like, cause I feel like I can walk in a room and people who went to college still feel stupid around me because I was an engineer and they were not. It just depends on who the person is. There's other engineers who may feel stupid around me. That's them. It don't matter. That's you choosing to be weak. That's you choosing to be intimidated by me. Because me personally, I don't ever feel like, oh, I'm so dumb. My mindset had never been like that. Like if I walk in a room and I feel like somebody is so smart in my mind, I'm soaking everything I can from them. At no point does it turn into I'm so stupid. Huh? And because I feel so stupid, now I hate them. Like I don't know why somebody's brain would do that. My brain don't work like that. If I feel like you have more knowledge or more expertise or more experience or more like, oh, I like what you're doing, I'm going to learn what I can from you. I'm going to learn what I can from you. I'm not going to try to be you. I'm not going to try to wear your skin. And I'm definitely not going to talk bad about you or try to interfere or sabotage anything in your life. That's the devil. The devil makes people do that. Okay. So say I walk in the room and nobody even asked me a question. It's just my presence. You can feel that. You can feel that wisdom. You can feel that maturity. Now, say, because I'm at this new job, because I already dreamt that was going to happen. Say I'm in a meeting and this girl likes me in a dream. I told you about the dream. She liked me until I opened my mouth in the meeting, because sometimes people want you to be pretty and dumb. Sometimes people want to feel, they sell themselves a narrative like Megan only got this job because of this. Megan only in this position because of this. And then you get to talking and it's like, no, Megan knows her stuff. Oh, so you wanted me to be having a handout and I'm pretty though, because you ain't gonna lie and say I'm ugly, but you wanted it to be to where I had a handout, but I'm really dumber than a bag of rocks. That's not the narrative either, because I'm actually smart and I know what I'm doing. So now they're upset because, well, I thought she just only got the job because of her connections and who she knew, but really I'm better at this than everybody on this job and in the other one. Stop playing with me. So you never know what about you is going to intimidate somebody. Okay. That was just an example. So say you in a spot in your life and you really locked in with the Lord. You really been spending time with him. And I feel like this is what happened with me the last 5 years, because I didn't even understand my own transformation, because it's not always stuff you can see. Like, to me, I still look the same. To me, I am the same, but I'm really not the same, because we're all new in Christ. And so that's another word he's been giving me for November, transformation. Specifically, the scene from Cinderella where she finally starts to believe and the magic happens, which he was telling me that when I was watching Twitches. The magic really is in believing. And I know magic isn't a thing. I'm supposed to be looking up scriptures about believing, but that's when you really access and tap into like miraculous things. Okay. When you really believe. Okay. But he been telling me that for November, like a transformation, like you spin it around and that's the custom fit and the shoes and the who is that? Like, okay. We'll talk about that in a few days, because I think that ties into the other dream I want to tell you about. But to me, I was the same. And so I couldn't understand why people start treating me different, start acting weird. Like, is you cool? Is we cool? Like, what's up? And what you don't see is how you've been learning with God. You've been reading his word. He's writing his word on the tablets of your heart, right? You're actually changing, and people can feel that. Not only can people feel that, the demons in them feel that. Like, who is this that just came in the room and they've been spending time with God? Because it's a little bit of light that came up in here now. It's a little bit of authority that came up in here now. So now you wonder why people you was just cool with, you're not cool with them no more. They feel that. They sense that. They felt that power come into the room, and you don't even recognize what you're carrying, because to you, you just deepening your relationship with God, no matter what it is. Say you just went through like the worst relationship ever, which is what led me down this path of getting even closer to God. This man wanted me to not be here anymore. Okay. That is why I started pursuing the Lord the way that I did. That is what made me take a time out, a pause, a break, like, oh, let me get my life together. Just like this last year. And that I've been laughing about that too. Like, imagine thinking you was gonna have me so down bad, and then I pop up and I'm better and more powerful than I was. Surprise, right? Now you extra mad. But I was seeking God for, healing. And I don't like what I just went through. It seemed like every time I was really getting close to God, it was after a bad relationship. Hate to admit it, but that's what happened, right? So I was seeking him for that, because I was down bad. I was heartbroken. I was sad, and he was building me back up. And so all I see it as is I'm strengthening my walk with God, my relationship with God. And then when you're doing that, now you want to be more obedient. Now he starts revealing your gifts. Now you're able to operate in your gifts and all these things, but you don't see how that's bothering the people around you, whether it's family, people in your community, your fake friends. And so now they're intimidated by this new power that is in you, when you weren't focused on getting power. I wasn't even trying to get power. I was trying to be okay. Literally, I was trying to be okay. And in the process of getting to know him, in the process of walking with him, right, in the process of letting him in my heart even more, came up. I ain't saying that's what I was trying to do, but I did. He gave me power. So people don't see that. Like, I'm in here scared. I was thinking about this last night. I'm in here scared to go to sleep at night. It's dark. I'm scared, right? I'm fearful. I don't like the dark, guy. I'm terrified. And he's teaching me my authority to pray against certain things. You don't see where I'm getting attacked by these scary things in my dreams. Like we were just talking about, and it's been like that my whole life. And I'm trying to figure out how to break free from that. I don't want to deal with this no more. So I'm seeking him. And because I'm seeking him to help me get over these things that you don't know nothing about, or that you don't see, but realize that I got that power because of what I was trying to defeat that had nothing to do with you. What I was trying to stop from happening to me that don't have nothing to do with you. But now when I come in the room and the demons in you sense this power, now it's a problem. Now, I will say that's just in the progression of the years. Apparently, I came out the womb with this power. But that's because before I was in my mother's womb, he knew me. So even when I got to this earth, it was a power that I didn't even know I had, which is really why I was getting emotional during Twitches last night. So if you haven't seen it, they defeated the darkness, okay, when they were born. And I've said that. Like your birth marked the breaking of the generational curse. You didn't know that. Your mama and them might not have even known that. But you being born broke the generational curse. It marked that was going to happen, even if the curse didn't break immediately because you was born. But they knew it was going to be somebody down the line that didn't act like that didn't behave like that didn't treat people like that. But at your birth, you defeated darkness again because God knew me before I even came down here. Heavy on the He knew me in heaven. Heavy on the I'm a gift from heaven, right? To whoever we talking about, whatever situation we talking about, God Himself beamed me down here, right? So you came out the womb with this power. And because when I'm thinking, like, when I'm little, like, what could I have possibly have done to anybody for them to be mean to me like that? Like, what did I do to you besides exist? And that's what it is. It was something different about you. It's always been something different about you. That is God. And then I'll be wondering, because this week I had put on Facebook, like, many are called, but few are chosen. And I was like, see, here's the difference between me and everybody else. And not just me and everybody else. I feel like y'all feel this way too. I've always known I was chosen. And I was the one like, God, I don't want to be. Right? Like, it's cool. I can be a normal person. I want to be a normal person. I've always known I was chosen. And then you got girls like the one that had befriended me or watched me, stalked me on here a couple years ago, but then she DMing everybody I follow, trying to discredit me and talk bad about me. And it was all behind the fact that she didn't feel chosen. I ain't never in my life not felt chosen. So I don't move like that. I'm the person fighting feeling chosen. Do you understand what I'm saying? I've always been chosen. I always knew I was different. Did I want to be? No. But I've always known I was different. And so even as a child, you got to realize that. Like as an adult now, I can see kids come in. I'm like, oh, that's a star. They're going to change the world. What a sweet, pure baby. Like, oh my gosh, they have such a good heart. I wonder what they're going to be like when they grow up. I can see that as an adult. So imagine you being that sweet, cute baby born in the family and they see that power on you and they've done everything they can to try to destroy you. Just like when Jesus' birth was announced and they were trying to kill the baby boys because he going to get caught up in that. That's what it's like. The last thing we finna have is somebody coming and changing the bloodline. Now, is that them thinking like that? I think to a degree, yeah, but it's ultimately a satanic agenda. Like, who is this child that's just so full of joy, always so happy? Who is this child that's always smiling? Who is this child that's so talented? Who is this child that ain't ever been able to say what was right and what was wrong? Who is this child that ain't never been scared to tell the truth? But you don't recognize that's the power you've been walking in since you was a baby. All that, you were always advanced. They knew you was gonna be somebody. I don't like when I see videos and stuff and it was like they didn't want you to. They didn't want you. I'm not that person. Now, I will say this because I feel like, okay, I'm gonna say this because I feel like me and my mom and sister have talked about this. Morgan is more so the sister where they didn't want that to be true for her. I will argue my mama is kind of like that too. And I'm only sharing this because I feel like we've all had this conversation together. That's more so of the they didn't want you to. They didn't think you were gonna be like that. They didn't think that you were. Nah, y'all knew out the gate what type of life I was gonna live. I'm not that type of person, and I ain't saying nothing wrong with that type of person. I'm just a different type of person. It would never know. We didn't think Megan was going. No, you didn't want Megan to. There's a difference. You knew that I was going to. Mine is more so like Joseph. Whether I told you to dream or not, you already knew what this was. You knew I was favored. You hated me. I told you about the dream and you hated me even more. That makes me laugh every time. Like, that's really in the Bible. So when people be acting like, no way, your family, I know you lying. Joseph's brothers hated him even more. I've even heard a pastor preach about Joseph. And I was like, you are salty. I wonder if you have a sibling that is like Joseph. Because he called Joseph a spoiled brat. And I was like, I don't think Joseph did anything that made him a spoiled brat. Is it because I can relate to Joseph? Am I a spoiled brat? You get what I'm saying? Because I don't know why this preacher up here trying to dog Joseph. Immediately in my mind, I was like, they got to have a sibling that was super favored. Like, just unexplainably. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not that person. It would never know. We didn't think Megan went, you ain't never in your life thought I wouldn't go nothing. Ever. You knew. And my daddy told me that the other day. I think he is more like that as well. And I think for my mom and my sister, it's because they're quieter and they are not as vocal and expressive, like how you can argue how Joseph is. That's why I don't understand when people be like, oh, well, I didn't think that she was, that's crazy because Morgan is just like me. The only difference is she don't talk. I talk and I'm more bold. Like that's how my daddy is. Like it's just how it is. My sister and my mama, they're more quiet and they're more laid back. Me and my daddy are not like that. And so me and him was having a conversation and he was like, it don't matter what circumstances you in, sis, you gonna make it. I already know you was gonna make it regardless. Cause I was asking him, I was like, Daddy, you think I would be different if we didn't grow up the way we grew up? He was like, you would not be different. You that's my destiny. I'm gonna make it. I was born to make it. I was born to win. I was born to lead. It's what's in me. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how it is. So I don't subscribe to that. Like they didn't think what? No, they knew. That's what they were trying to stop it. Just like Joseph's brothers. They knew. Again, because if they didn't believe that, they would have tried to kill him. They left Joseph for dead. I've been thinking about that this week too. They left my man for dead. You getting ganged up on by your brothers, and they so hell bent on not seeing you go to a place that you actually need to be in to even help them later on down the line, right? They're so hell bent on you not making it there, they rather just kill you. Is you cool? Are you cool? Your brother? Oh, your brother? Okay. And I also saw a post today on Instagram that was like, folks don't be bragging, they be excited, and you just a hater. I was like, exactly. Joseph was not bragging. So for the pastor that I watched that was preaching that, I was like, I don't like him. But that was preaching that and was like, Joseph was a spoiled brat, this. I'm like, or he was pure in heart and genuinely excited about what he dreamed and thought that he could go tell his brothers because his brothers could come tell him stuff like that. And he wouldn't try to kill them. That's exactly why Joseph is in the palace and they are not. And I always say that. That's why I'm the queen and you are not. And that girl, that's why I know I'm chosen. And that's why you struggling with that because I would never in my life go through somebody's followers and try to talk bad about them to anybody who would listen and respond to the message. That's not giving chosen behavior. Chosen people don't move like that. Weak people move like that. So you're mad because I think I'm chosen. Look at how you behave. So that okay. So I've said weak 100 times. Let's actually get to what's on here. Yeah, and he was genuinely sharing. That's what I'm saying. Like anybody, I'm so supportive. Nobody's gonna come tell me nothing, and I'm like, gotta destroy him. I don't understand that, and I don't want to understand it. And I really do think I say that humbly. I really do think I'm like that because I'm the person that's on the flip side of it. I don't know what it feels like to be the one that doesn't feel like I'm chosen, to be the one that is knows without a doubt I'm not gonna sit in those spots. Like I don't know what that feels. I'm the person fighting what God is showing me. I'm the person that's like, are you sure that's what we're doing? Like, and so anybody can come tell me that, and I'm not gonna feel threatened. I'm not intimidated or threatened by nobody's success, nobody's happiness. I don't have that type of bone in my body, and I don't want it. And so we are so sweet. I texted mom and them that earlier today. I was like, I'm way too sweet for stuff I've been through. We're so sweet and pure. I'm gonna get all them words on there. We're so sweet and pure. It throws us off when people do stuff like that. Ain't no way in the world Joseph's brothers, any of them, could have came to Joseph and been like, guess what I saw? And he would have tried to kill them. It's not his heart. How do we know that's not his heart? Even after them trying to kill Joseph, all he did was cry. He forgave them and he still blessed them, helped them after they left him for dead. So if you could treat me so badly and I still don't try to harm you, ain't no way you could have came and told me some good news or happy news and I would have tried to harm you, because even after you treated me how you did, I still have not tried to harm you. And that's why I'm the one in that position. God can trust me. He ain't never gonna trust nobody to move like that. Why would you be the leader? And if anybody made you the leader, it was the devil. It was not the Lord. Okay. So I hope people realize that. Like, even at work, it's some crazy stuff that happened last year. And I'm just like, You poor woman. Like, I actually feel bad for her now. I didn't at first, and when people was trying to make me feel bad for her, I didn't care. But I thought about her earlier. I'm like, I wonder if she's so miserable. Because that's something I'm noticing too. They do all of that and they still miserable. You tried to kill the man, thinking it was gonna make you feel better, and look at you, you were still messing up. Even the stuff that the daddy read off that they did, you were still treating people like that. That's why you can't take it personal. Because even though it's personal, like they personally threw Joseph in there to try to leave him for dead. You get what I'm saying? That's pretty personal. But it's not really personal. Because again, anybody with that real power in them, anybody with that real light in them, they're going to treat anybody that they come across that has that, they're going to try their best to treat them like that. Unless it's somebody with that real power and that light and they know it. That's why the power will never balance, but it's a shift happening in our lives. Okay. So the scripture he gave me is greater is he that is in me than he that is in this world. That's why it could be 15 of your trifling cousins coming up against you and it does nothing because it's 15 of y'all in the world and y'all are weaker than me with God. And if any of y'all was with God, that don't really change nothing because if you were with God, you wouldn't be coming against me because I'm with God. You get what I'm saying? So 15 of y'all can come against me and it's not going to change nothing because greater is he that is in me than he that's in this world. God is greater than you. He's greater than you. He's greater than you. He's greater than the devil in you. He's greater than the devil in you. You can go down that whole line of 15 of them family members and God is greater than all of them combined. That's just a principle. That's a kingdom principle. That's just how life is. The power will never balance. It is never going to balance. And so people get hell bent on trying to make it balance, on attempting to make it balance, and it's never gonna balance. Preach, preacher. Why? Jesus died and got up with all power and authority. Do you hear what I'm saying? Like, it's never gonna balance. You can do everything you want. You can try, give it your best shot. And y'all wanna know something? I low-key regret saying that on the live. Because I promise you, I said that in the devil tried to give me his best shot. 2024 was insane. Like, oh, this really is your best shot. You hopping in every weak link you can find. Because they are the weakest link. I was like, Mom, how you think people gonna feel if I just start saying that to them? You are the weakest link. I don't know what game show that was, but imagine if you actually start telling people that. Because why is it that you are always the one he can hop in to get to me? I'm tired of this pattern. You are the weakest link. Goodbye. Is that what the lady says? What is it? What was the game? Do you know what I'm talking about? And did she say goodbye afterwards? What if I start telling people that? You are the weakest link. Goodbye. Like, before I cut you off, please know that. That's why I hope somebody asked me in public why they blocked. That's why I'm gonna get my answer. You the weakest link. And I probably was thinking that when I blocked you. The devil is not gonna keep hopping at you to get to me. I'm making that a little too easy for him. He gonna have to find somebody else. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's not gonna keep hopping at you. So the notes I took, which I feel like we probably talked about all this, it says ganging up on one person and still not as strong, which is the example I just gave. Growing up, everybody ganging up on me, all the kids ganging up on me, the older kids convincing the little kids to gang up on me. So that's two big kids, two little kids, and y'all still ain't stopped nothing. Oh, okay. At work, everybody trying to gang up on you, even in churches, like, is you cool? I don't know if I'm gonna start saying is you cool or you are the weakest link. I gotta decide. But everybody trying to do that. And something God was showing me earlier too, they were trying to steal your babies. Like, for real. And I don't mean like your kids, but like, I birthed this in Christ. And you're trying to either steal it or kill it because it's not yours. And you think in order to kill it, you gotta gang up on me with other people in the church to kill it. But joke's on you because you're never gonna be able to do that. Right? Like, I remember getting on here crying about it. They was hell bent on trying to take and influence what God gave me. And I had a real strong boundary with that because that's something God gave me when I wasn't even going to church. You're not influence this. This is what God told me to do for the kingdom, for his kids, right? Like, no. And they was trying to gang up and come up with a whole team to come up against me. We got to have 5 people because if it's 5 of us saying we should do this and Megan saying we should do this, ain't nothing changed. I'm still doing exactly what I was doing at multiple attempts at trying to ruin it. I think they gave up. I hope they gave up. But sometimes people don't. They keep going. So it don't matter in what arena they gang up on you. And it's not just physically. Again, that can be spiritually because the types of dreams I would have, I'm like, what is this? What's going on? The next point was the power you bring in the room with you is unmatched. So it's a quiet power. That's why I don't like certain family members that's just ignorant. Because why are you screaming? Why are you yelling? Why do you literally have no self control? So that's that intimidation. People think if they yell and scream loud enough. Like I've been in an argument with my sister, and I was like, okay, so when you check back into reality and the devil get up off you, me and you talk. Because what you're not gonna do is scream like you ain't got no sense. I don't like that. Now, I will say I was watching something and they were like, you have to be very careful when you've been around people that treat you like that because you can get infected. In a couple of moments, I've caught myself like yelling. I was like, now I will argue in my defense. It was after genuinely being played with or disrespected. Couple instances, maybe when somebody told me no. But overall, just yelling and screaming like you ain't got no sense, that's not gonna work. I'm gonna need you to bring it down. So it's a quiet power, but people do that to intimidate you. Like if I'm loud enough, and I come off as aggressive, like people who remind you of pit bulls. My ex was like that. He reminded me of a dog. I don't know if it was a pit bull or a Rottweiler, but the ones that intimidates you because of their size and loudness. Like, some dogs can bark and it's like, oh! And then some dogs bark and it's like, I'm not scared of that. That little itty bitty, like it's different. He reminded me of like a very aggressive, mean dog. Just, you want me to be quiet because you yelling and screaming like a fool. 9 times out of 10, I am going to be quiet because it's like, it's no talking to you. You're crazy. So a quiet power, God does not have to do all that. The Holy Spirit is not like that. The devil has to do all that drama and chaos and I'm confused because you're screaming. I can't even think straight. The devil has to do that. And people will try to do that to make you back down and be quiet. And then those are the same people who may threaten you physical harm because they have to try to intimidate you somehow because the power you bring in the room is intimidating them. So they got to do something to, they get frantic. They start doing too much. It's a wise power, which we already talked about. And I was saying what my uncle said. It's a strong power. It really is. That's why when God was talking to me, like, you got to stop being weak. Like I made that post. Like it was weak of Cinderella to sit there and let them treat her like that. Now, again, I was rewatching one of my lives and I was talking about that. And I was like, okay, maybe they were groomed though, because sometimes that is what it is. And I don't ever want to call nobody weak when they were groomed to behave that way. It takes time, it takes healing, it takes the Lord to outgrow those stances, right? But it's a strong power. I don't want to be weak. That's been my prayer. I'm like, God, I don't want to be. That's really the only area, maybe not the only area, but one of the main areas where I feel like I have been very weak. Like, why do you let people feel like they can just treat you any kind of way? I don't know. And I do think that's weak of me. So that's something I've been having to work on. But God has a strong power. And scripture says he gives us a spirit of power, love, and a sound mind. I feel like that's part of it. Like his spirit should not make you timid and like back down to bullying aggression. Like his spirit's not going to do that. His spirit's going to allow you to stand up to it in the right manner, right? Or handle it in the right manner. Because again, I don't think you always got to say something. And it's also a pure power. So me just sitting here, because the next bullet says your mere existence. Me just sitting here, or in any room, walking in the family function, and I sit down. I'm not seeking attention. Hey everybody, I'm just showing love. I'm nice and kind. I sit down and I eat. My mere existence is giving a pure power. I'm not in nobody's space for the wrong reasons. I am not trying to, slither up underneath nobody and learn their business so I can gossip about it. I'm not trying to learn if anybody in the room is going through a hard time so I can laugh about it. Like that's not me. I come in purely, right? Like if you're sticking with the family and family function example, I came here because we're supposed to be fellowshipping and to eat, not to do nothing extra, not to sit here and compare myself to none of y'all. I came to eat and enjoy you guys. And I can't do that because my pure power is intimidating you. And now you're trying to move in this weird, funky, not pure power. And so, why am I here? Like, what am I actually doing here? So if a power is pure, it comes from God. The other stuff is not pure. That's when we're talking about the Decepticons. And Tyrese was like, why they always got the good stuff? It don't matter what type of impure, mass destructive weapons they have. That's not real power. And that's why real power can defeat that Real power is not intimidation. Like, what is the actual definition of intimidation? And if everything I'm saying applies to um racism as well. Because again, that's another form of narcissism. I can't talk. Narcissism. Yeah. So intimidation is to frighten or overawe somebody, especially in order to make them do what you want. So if you're moving in a way to where you're trying to intimidate somebody, you're trying to instill fear in them. And again, God's spirit don't give you fear, but you're also trying to manipulate them. Real power don't got to manipulate. Real power don't got to control. Real power don't have to put fear in you. Real power just is. Pure power just is. It exists and it influences you just by merely existing. That's why people who have to do the most and gossip and all that to get attention. I don't have to do anything to get attention. I get attention for existing. You know, people really hate you for that. I get attention and I'm sitting here at the family function playing my game, minding my business. But because even I'm over here minding my business, I'm sitting here over here enjoy, right? Just and it's exuding out of me, even if I'm looking down, like I'm not paying attention and I'm still getting attention because that's pure. I don't have just like we were talking about the Holy Spirit. If you need a tool, right? If you got to do something, that's not pure. I don't need cards, none of that to know what God is telling me. I just got to sit still. I got to exist and he existed. He going to tell me. I don't need no tools or practices. Like the purity in things, right? And I like you so pure, it just exposes what's not. I was watching the word earlier and she was saying how like they got mad the last time you came around and exposed them for what they are. And I was like, did I say something out loud? Or, you know, it's like she could read my thoughts, or either I was just in tune with the video. And she was like, you ain't even do nothing. It was just you being around. Right. My mere existence, the purity of my heart, of my posture, of my position, of my intentions, that purity is so powerful and it disrupts everything around that is not that. I didn't come in here trying to look like, you know, really nothing. I feel like it's the same on the internet, which I'm gonna try to do better about that because even today I'm like, you think I get enough getting on the internet looking like somebody's grandma? But even with me not even giving stuff my best, giving it my all, because people know when I'm really giving it versus when I'm not. And even when I'm not, like March through September, I was absolutely not giving it. And even then, I was getting a lot of attention. I'm that girl that's like, your whole life be falling apart, you depressed, and all people want to say is, you're so pretty. That's me. Like, please leave me alone. I'm trying to survive. Like, that's my life, even when I'm not trying. So, all of that, even when you're down bad, is this on here? Okay, no, y'all, I got a lot of words, a ton. We're gonna get to these. They're not gonna be live, so I'm gonna record these for y'all. But even when you're down bad, like you don't realize how powerful you are. Me down bad is more powerful than folks at their best because they in the world, because they follow Satan. You at your best is still not equivalent to me at my worst. Okay, and I had a work auntie tell me that this girl was very jealous, and she was telling me it was about my looks, and I was like, I don't know. I never know why people are jealous. And she was like, you look better than her on your worst day. It's a spiritual thing too. On my worst day, I'm more kind than you. On my worst day, I'm sweeter than you. I'm more pure than you. On my worst day, I'm more intentional about my relationship with the Lord. You get what I'm saying? Like, that's really a thing. And you don't know how you bother people. In my worst season, I was still pressure. I've been beating myself up for not being consistent on YouTube. Like last year, I was trying to survive. This year, it was like you could have been more consistent. But I was going back and watching my lives, and I was like, "Hey, this was solid. This was solid content." I was saying nothing but the truth in all these videos, but I felt bad because I wasn't being consistent. Man, you influential in your worst year because 2024 was horrible, horrible. Your worst year, you was still more influential than them on their best day with their best outfits on that they copied from you. You still have more influence. Like, and I say that humbly. I spent so many years not understanding why people gave me so much hate. And I'm like, oh, this is why. This is why. This is why. Okay. And that it humbles you. Like it turns you up a little bit to where you get confidence, but then it's like, God, I don't know what I did to deserve all these things. Like the video I made where it's like you naturally have it, the gifts, the talents, the looks, all this, the heart. Like I don't know what I did, God, but thank you. It really does humble you. And then it trying to put yourself in their shoes. Baby says that in the new song with G Herbo. Like he tried to put his foot in your shoes, but it didn't fit exactly, which I feel like alluded to Cinderella too. My foot won't even fit in your shoe, as yours won't fit in mine. But when you look at it the other way, like I don't know what that feels like. I was randomly thinking about that girl. Like, I cannot imagine getting on Instagram and going through somebody's followers and doing that. Like, one, I'm gonna sit there and watch a movie before I do that. I don't have free time like that. My free time is really free time. I don't think about nothing. So how in your free time do you have time to try to interfere and sabotage somebody else? I don't know what that feels like. Also, really sad, the ladies on TikTok that say they're ugly, never felt like that. I ain't never felt like that. So sometimes you gotta thank God. And a lot this week, I was like, I'm just glad I'm not them, humbly. My big experience ended up where you should be, but also Cardi B in that song, she's like, every day I thank God I'm not you. Every single day when I pray, I thank God I'm not you. Nah, I do. Seriously. Keep me humble, God. Like, I get it. I don't know what I did. I got some really good words because I'm realizing the more I really just tell my story and stop worrying about people who can't relate to me at all. Like, girl, you can't relate. That's why you mad. You can't relate. Go to another channel. But I'm realizing the ones that can relate, I'm like, I got you, sis, because it's a lot of stuff I had to learn and not teach myself, but let God teach me. And it's just like, I'm trying to read the one I wrote down that I plan to share. I wrote so much stuff down lately. Oh, don't let the ungodly behavior of others steal life from you. Life as in your destiny, like your actual life. You are supposed to be here. I created you to do this. I created you to be here. I created you to be positioned here. I created you to sit here. And so many people aren't where they're supposed to be because they let the ungodly behavior of others take that from them. And so something that breaks my heart is when I'm under those narcissistic therapy videos, and it is beautiful women or really wholesome men, and they're like, yeah, I'm 60 and I just started understanding this. I hope you have the most abundant life for the rest of your years, because you didn't deserve that, but you had to get to the point to where the shift happens, right? And you don't let them steal that from you. Now, God is a God who restores time, and I'm very thankful for that, because even me at 31, I feel delayed. But I'll read the comments and I'm like, well, that's sad, especially when it's their parents and they've been in that locked up prison with their parents for years. And then they're also the only sibling that would even take care of the crazy parent. And it's just stole so much life from them, literally, like life, but also destiny, but also your will to live. And I think that's going to tie into the next live. But their behavior, the intention was so that you wouldn't. The devil don't have a destiny. Well, that's not true. He does. It's hell. Okay? That's his destiny. He don't have a fun, purpose-filled destiny. Well, he got purpose too. It's to steal, kill, and destroy. But do you get what I'm saying? I don't want to relate to that. I don't even want to be every day when I pray, I thank God I'm not you. I don't want no influence of the devil on my life. Zero. Okay? He don't have a life. He don't have a purpose. He don't have a future. And so people who are brainwashed by him moving like that, that's what they want you to feel like. So now you don't even have a will to live. When Jesus came to give you life and give it to you more abundantly. So I'm noticing a lot of the people that follow me, whether they're younger than me, older than me, whatever, it's like, no, you better start living today. You better realize who you are today. Whose you are today. That's why they treat you like that. That's why they've been treating you like that. But it was never going to work. The only way it works is if you let it work. Why are you sitting there letting it work? And that goes to a lot of things, because my favorite decision I made this year was cutting off my toxic family. Best decision I ever made in my life. I don't know why I was so scared to do that, because I do love family. I value family. I want to have a sweet family. I want my kids to have a sweet family. Like, me and Morgan have talks like this. I wish your kids would try to bully mine. I wish they would. You know what I'm saying? Because of the stuff we've gone through. I wish they would. Or I wish one of my cousins, okay, my cousins would try to bully my children. Now, in what world does that even make sense? But it happens, right? Like, live. Have the will to live, because some people wanted you to, like I said, my ex, I'm trying not to go into the next live. They wanted you to take yourself out of here, whether that was physically or spiritually. So now you don't have the will to live or pursue or do or be because of all this ungodly behavior from these people. Forget them. Let that power, it's not, I guess the tables are turning, it is overturning, but this is a permanent one, because it was never going to be equal. So when you look at the balance of powers, that means that everything is equal. The kingdom of darkness and the kingdom of heaven, the kingdom of Jesus Christ, that is not equal. It will never be equal. This was, the kingdom of darkness is going to come to an end. Jesus' kingdom has no end. It was never supposed to be balanced. And so people are in your life doing all this stuff, bullying you, trying to humble you, harassing you. Because that's, if you look at the actual definition of bullying, it is to create that power imbalance. That's what they're trying to do, to where somebody feel like they can control and manipulate your life. So you gonna let them steal that from you? You gonna let them take that from you? No, you can't do that. Okay. I Yeah, I didn't gave y'all the whole word. Dang it. It was this one up here. But don't let the ungodly behavior of others steal life from you in any regard. Okay. Let me drink some water. Yes. Thankful. Yes. Don't let them do it. Locked up in a. I think it blows my mind for me. Like, ain't no way I was hiding in here. Like, I knew what God told me when He blessed me with this. What am I doing? And I will say, I was doing good, and then I was running around people again. I was like, I've always had the wrong people around me. When you recognize who you are, you want to start being around those type of people. And one of the biggest blessings God gave me, even though I was going through so many hardships at work, one of the biggest blessings He gave me was my mentors at work, because they could see me, they was pushing me, and it was like, do you know who you are? Like, remember I told y'all, like, everybody was saying, I wish Keisha Cole knew she was Keisha Cole. That's how I feel. That's how my mom actually talks to me, right? But the women at work, because sometimes we don't hear what the people closest to us is saying, but the women at work, they were literally like, and Megan, you need to start showing up. Like, what are you doing? You know, like, and that really changed the game for me. I believe in mentoring. That's why I believe in telling people what I've learned. But they were women who were like me, but also they were women who were like me, but also women in positions where it was like, okay, more of y'all exist. And it made it like, it made me more aware, like, people like this really exist. Like, it got to the point where I was like, hey, is y'all's family mean to you? And they were like, what? I was like, is your family mean to you? Like, this is a real question. Once I realized, like, okay, they're pretty, they're smart, they come in a room, they've had to learn how to defend themselves, speak up and all that. And I was like, I wonder if their family gives them a hard time. Now, I will say this, that's just not everybody's story, y'all. It's not. Some people really are blessed to come from families that do not struggle with jealousy, envy, competition, comparison, and all of that. They don't have that curse running through the bloodline. And you can't stumble across that and be mad about it. Like, I don't like her anymore because she don't even understand what it's like for her family to hate her. That's weird. I don't know how to make my thoughts do that. And I don't ever want to make them do that, right? Because I was even reading this post and the girl was like, as soon as somebody starts talking about how they dad birthday coming up, I disassociate and I know I can't be friends with them. I was like, what? And I didn't know what trauma made her feel like that. But I also recognize a lot of the issues and stuff that I had in high school, the girls' daddies were not in their life. And even though mine was always deployed, okay, he was pretty solid gentleman. He's a very solid gentleman. He's very dependable. You know what I'm saying? But he was just never here. So I realized that part of it too. And that will humble you. I recognize that my actual household lives differently than everybody else's, even in the family. Like that's just my daddy just different. Our household was different. The kids came out different. I don't know what to tell people. But being around them made me understand it was women out here that were um like me. And so if you're spending all your time around, maybe it is your mama, maybe it's a grandmother, maybe it's a cousin, maybe it's a friend, and they're nothing like you, that is going to show in your life. You're going to start having depression. You're going to start feeling away because you know God has all these things for you that he's called you to do all these things. You have all these passions and desires and all this stuff. But because you're spending all your time around people that they don't even comprehend that, it's going to be very challenging for you. And I think I wasn't the person that was strong enough to keep sitting around people who couldn't relate. You get real frustrated. Now, I'll also say with my parents is different because they have each other. I don't have nobody to do stuff with, bounce stuff off of. I'm not living that life yet. It's just me. And so I had to start being around women who were living like that, women who I tried to aspire to be like, and that made it even easier to start cutting ties with people that was like, you're just trying to bring me down there where you are. And I'm getting kind of tired of this. I want to be around women who iron sharpens iron, but also who try to lift me up. I'm always trying to lift somebody else up. But the people and see, this is where I'm different too. The people I'm trying to pull up, right? They're trying to pull me down. Pause. Hold on. Like crabs in a barrel. But me going into mentorship and all that, I'm somebody that actually trying to help herself. So they trying to pull me up, and I'm like, oh, okay, I'm coming, right? Like, I'm coming. Not you come down here with me. Like that is so weird. That's how my family acts. That's literally how my family acts. Yeah. So I'm done trying to invite people to come with me too, because that'll mess you up too. I know I just said a lot. I'm sorry, y'all. But they do that. No, I asked. One said she's had some issues with a few, but it's not horrible. And the other one said she don't have the issues because it's a big age gap between all of them, like a significant age gap. And I was like, okay. And so then maybe you find somebody, and so this is what I've done. Maybe you find somebody and you don't know them in the work setting. They're not a work mentor, but y'all can relate. You relate to them in a different way. Like maybe it's a girl on the internet and she likes hair, clothes, and fashion and stuff the way you do. And she is someone who, because she's so pretty and dresses so nice, this is every single time at this point. She's so pretty and dresses so nice. She don't talk to none of her family, to include her trifling cousins. And so then you become a member of her community and one of her supporters, and then you learn about dealing with that through her. That's what I think people miss. Like, we're supposed to be inspired ultimately by Jesus Christ, but there are so many people that I look up to in so many different arenas and stuff. Like, I would tell you, like, when I'm on my other side of YouTube and it's like the mommy bloggers, I do follow a mommy blogger whose sisters are all jealous of her and they fall out routinely, and she talks about it. Her sisters are jealous of her, but all trying to do what she's doing to come up the way that her and her family have, but they jealous of her and always blaming everything on her. So yeah, I listen to her. Me and her are nothing alike. Then in regard to like work and school and stuff, but we relate in that manner. So I can listen to her, learn from her. I don't have to be just like somebody to be able to be inspired by them or learn from them. I told y'all the girl interview that I was watching the other day, she's younger than me. You don't have to be older than me. We don't have to be the same age. I'm able to interact with people, whether it is in real life or a social one-sided interaction, because they don't know you if you watching them like that. But I'm able to have different interactions, and I know how to like, this is inspiring, or this is really helps me, or oh my gosh, I think I need to start thinking like this. I really appreciate that. And I'll show love on the video. I'll leave hearts, or maybe I won't, but maybe that night I'll pray for them. But nowhere in it does it become, I can be her better than her. That's how I know something is really wrong with some of my family members. Because you try to do everything I do, literally. But at the end of the day, your last thought is you can do it better than me. Something wrong with you. They need to take you to get help. Like something is literally wrong with you. So yeah, get some mentors and people who can genuinely help you overcome it without turning into a villain or a monster yourself. That's also really important, because I could have been getting advice from women at work who people don't bother them, but people don't bother them because they're rude. They bulldoze over people and they don't respect nobody and they don't care about nobody. That's why nobody or everybody shows them respect, which isn't really respect. It's you intimidate people so they don't even bother speaking up. And now we're in a situation where because you act like this, somebody who had valuable insight, they don't speak up when we needed to hear what they had to say. I could have got advice in life or at work from women like that. Like, nah, ain't nobody at work ever bullied me, and it's because you're nasty, right? But I didn't want that. I wanted to be like the women at work that everybody truly respected, and maybe not everybody, because when you live like this, when you really understand like what I'm saying, you recognize that people are literally going to just hate you because you are a good person, because so many people do love you, even if everybody doesn't love you, but a lot of people do love you. The pure people in the office love you. The people who really believe in God love you, right? Not them other crazy folks. So no, everybody don't love them, but people respect them. People want to work for them. One of my mentors, I love her so much, and I remember I love them all, but we had this event and she had her whole team. They was out there freakishly early. I was like, why are y'all out here? And they was like, to support her. And I told her that day, and I don't ever have no problem admitting nothing like this. I told her that day, when I lead a team, I want them to ride behind me the way your team ride behind you, because why are they out here so early? And she started laughing. Like, you can admit that. You can say stuff like that. What you can't do is know you feel like that, and then you try to poison her teammates' ear about her, or you think that you can be her better than her, or you try to interfere with her. That's where stuff goes sideways, because what are you doing? You cannot do people like that, okay? But it's okay to be inspired by them and want to be like them and recognize like, oh, I like that. I would, you get what I'm saying? The other one, she's quiet to me unless she's comfortable around you, but she taught me how to stand up to the men who don't let you talk because you are a woman. And I remember when she first did it in the meeting was over and she was like, was that too much? Was I being mean? And I was like, oh my God, I love her. Because that's how I am. Like, she felt bad even for, sticking up for herself. But my mentors are women like that. They're well respected. Very well respected. That don't mean they weren't going through certain stuff, but they are respected. And not only that, because these two in particular, well, one, I'm back being around her again, and she was my mentor or my boss when I was first on YouTube, and I would tell y'all about her. And I knew she had my back. These two were newer, but I will always have different dreams. Even the dream I had earlier in the year, I think, but they were bringing me into more bougie places, and they were teaching me how to move. God showed me that. Like, pay attention to them, because you're gonna learn how to be wise as a serpent and harmless as a dove watching them. He made that clear to me. So no, I'm never gonna say somebody weird for watching nobody, from learning from nobody. It's when your heart is so jacked up in doing it. Stay away from me. That's not inspiration. You weird. You trying to copy me. You acting like the devil. That's different. But true mentorship and true gleaning in a field where maybe you haven't even planted, because that's a thing, but they're the type of people like, yeah, learn all you can. Whatever you learn from me, do it. But God told me I was going to learn that from them. And then we start going to different outings and stuff, because I actually need to post a reel that I haven't posted with them. You'll see them on Instagram when I post it. But one of the first outings we went to such a nice restaurant, and I remember I was like, I ain't never been here. They was like, how you ain't never been here? Like, why you be in the house so much? I was like, I don't know. And one is always encouraging me to come out the house. But I went in the bathroom, and I was like, this house bathroom nicer than my bathroom in my house. And so when I came out back to the table, they was like, why are you looking like that? I said, I used to dream y'all were gonna bring me to nice places. And that bathroom is nicer than mine. And they bust out laughing. They all like they know I dream. They listen to me if I want to talk to them about my dreams. They don't try to play me like I'm crazy. But here's the thing. God showed me my one mentor was a boss in the spirit. That's the difference, right? Like I have bosses and people who try to mentor me and they have no spiritual authority, no power, zero. My mentors are women who have true power, authority, and anointing. Like we going to lunch and she playing gospel music, and I know this is really how she ride in her car every day. Or she know I'm having a hard time, and like that time I was really sad, and I told y'all I was crying in the bed, and I was like, God, I just need a hug because I was going through so much stuff with my family, and I went to work the next day. She's not even a hugger. She saw me, like you know how you walk by somebody and then you walk back because you saw them. She did that to me, and she was like, "Someone's telling me to give you a hug." She don't even hug people like that, but listens to the voice of God, is sensitive to the voice of God. Women like that. It's women I've dealt with at work, and they think because they in higher positions than me physically, but you don't have no power. All your power is intimidation and control and manipulation. These mentors that I'm talking about that I genuinely love, it's influence. When I was watching Transformers, Optimus Prime was motivating them, encouraging them to like go do the mission, even though it was hard. Like I'm saying, like why your team was all out here at 6:30 in the morning because we would do anything for her. Like we love her. Anybody to support her, we come out here and do it. That's how you want people to be behind you as a leader. But Optimus Prime was hyping them up, and they was like, man, I don't know how he do it. Just make you want to die for the guy. It was like he's so inspirational. That or he's brainwashing us. It was just a funny scene in a movie. And that's how you want to feel because low key, sometimes with Jesus, it'd be like, yeah, because I would die, like to myself, to my flesh, because that's the example that he set. Leaders who move like that, they're leading by example. They're showing you that it's okay to lead like that, right? But sometimes with Jesus, it'd be like, I do anything he tell me to do. And that's kind of crazy because I feel like he's in these really sticky positions. Like I remember one time where I was like, Jesus, I think you're toxic because anything you tell me to do, I go do. I don't know how I ever thought God was toxic. I think that's crazy. But that's how you feel about good leaders. I would die for you. I would do anything for you. And you want me to be here at 3:30? I'm gonna be here at 3:30. But then you have bosses and leaders and people of influence. And it's like not the real kind. And it's like, I don't like you. I don't respect you, nothing. And once you start to feel like that about somebody, you remove yourself. You don't keep watching them, stalking them, trying to be up underneath them, and you become their number one hater in their comments. You gotta have some type of grace to yourself. If that's really how you feel, you remove yourself. I don't understand how that's not common sense. Anyways, they have true power and authority. And sometimes I would tell them my different dreams. I dreamt about you. My one, y'all are not gonna believe this. I can share it now because everybody knows. I think I don't know if she prays certain things and God gives me her answers. I feel like when stuff like that happens, it's because they're pure. And she always tells me, like, she make me cry sometimes, but she's like, Megan, you're so pure. That's why they hate that I let people treat me so bad at work because they're like, you're so sweet. Like, we don't understand. But, anyways, for the last years, God would show me different stuff about her. Years, like the last 5 years. Sometimes I tell her, sometimes I don't. This year, when I had started that job, I dreamt that she was getting this big, beautiful house in a neighborhood that was not supposed to have any like openings, listings available. And in a dream, and I was so happy for her in a dream. That's what makes me so upset when I deal with people because it's like I be happy for people regardless. I don't care if you're getting something that I want one day. If you're getting something that I want right now, I'm going to be so happy for you. In a dream, I was so happy for her. Like, yes! Like, but she was getting this house and I was able to see the house. It was big. It was beautiful. It was in a neighborhood where, you know how like a lot of people really don't live in the neighborhood? Like you got a lot of space around the house and all these things. And she was getting one, and I knew that she was being favored in that moment because they were telling other people like, y'all can't get houses, we don't have anything available. But for her, because she was so favored, because she was supposed to be there, she got one. So I woke up that morning and I text her, and I was like, hey, I wish I had the phone so I could tell you what it said. I was like, hey, I just dreamt that, XYZ. I said, you got this big beautiful house, nobody was supposed to be getting them. God blessed you with one, because you're special to him. I was telling her all this stuff, and all she did was heart the message. And I was like, okay, I was happy she read it. Months go by, and you'd also have to kind of understand what we went through with this particular lady the previous year. But months go by, and she's practice applying for positions, and she gets one that you're not supposed to have, like, at her age, one that she said wasn't even supposed to, it wasn't even on her goal list for like the next few years, but they wanted her to have and when she was explaining it, I was like, this is just like the dream I had. I was like, oh my gosh, because nobody was supposed to get it. It was big and beautiful. It was grand. And it was crazy because she's such a good leader, but I had to deal with people talking bad about her sometimes. And I'd be looking at them like, you do know that's my mentor. And they shut up real quick. But most people were so happy for her and congratulatory, and people start freaking out like, oh my God, who's going to be our boss? And that day they came over to my desk and they were like, okay, so you're gonna be the next one, because I follow after her footsteps at work. Everybody knows that once she leaves the position, what she usually does is recommend me for it or pulls me up. Now, what she was just currently doing, I don't want to do that yet. Like, I'm in one of those situations like, no, it's not going to be me that replaces her. But the fact that people came over to me and was like, are you going to be the next her? Because we would listen to you. I was like, really? Like, that's a mentor. That's somebody you look up to. That's somebody who not only has the power of God on their lives, but the favor of God on their lives. So if I'm a woman and I really want to live like that, my mentors need to be women like that. But again, because I'm so pure and she sees that and she always like lifts me up and builds me up, I really think that's why God always shows me what he's doing for her ahead of time. And it's been like that for literally 5 years. So whenever I tell them I'm dreaming something, like my one boss, I kid you not, when I first met her, because she had to handle some stuff that I was going through with a different lady at work. Like I don't know what it is. Some of these ladies go to church, but they not godly. They don't have no power. You understand what I'm saying? Some of these ladies look like me, but they was jealous of me. Some of these ladies could have did anything to put me in better positions, like my mentors now, but they did everything they could to keep me down. Okay. When I first met her, I had a dream that she had this big, pretty, bougie office. They was like, why do you always use bougie when you're talking about us? I'm like, because that's what it is. Like, I had this, she was in the, like, this places I dream about and I see them. I've never seen anything look like that on earth. Like that, God is showing me how they live in the spirit realm. Do you understand what I'm saying? My first dream of her, she was in her office. Everything is so nice. And she was on the phone, and my other mentor, because she's younger than the other mentor, but she's older than me. She was in her office, like sitting on the couch, and it was like I was watching what was happening, right? Like, so the one I told y'all I followed behind her at work, she was sitting on the couch in the other mentor's office. It was a big, beautiful, bougie office. There, she's on the phone, and she's like, "Yeah, I'd like to recommend Megan." And I was like, Megan, like I'm in a dream, watching the dream, like recommend Megan. I was like, what? And then she saw me, she looked up, it wasn't like I was spying on her. Like she saw me and she was like, hey, and then we went and did stuff. Me, the other mentor, and the other mentor. And the places she took us, that's what I'm telling y'all. When we went to the bathroom at one restaurant, I was like, this is just like the dream. This bathroom nicer than my house. But everywhere she was taking me in the dream, it was really nice. But she wasn't just taking me, like she's always instructing me and guiding me. I think sometimes when I see her in dreams, it's the Holy Spirit, and God was showing me that's who his spirit would move through and work to help me. Does that make sense? But that's really what it's like dealing with them. And a few months later, I saw my other younger mentor that I told you I always follow in her footsteps. I saw her in the hall. I never told them about this dream. I just told her one day when we went to lunch. I was like, I dreamt you were a boss in the spirit. And she started smiling. She was like, oh, really? Like, that's how she acted. I was like, yes, ma'am. I dreamt you like really in charge, like in the spirit realm. And she was just laughing, smiling, all very pretty. A couple months later, I'm in the hall at work, and my other mentor that's younger that in the dream was sitting on the couch. She in passing, like this stuff is so normal to them. Like what they expect of me is so normal. It wasn't no let's have no formal meeting. It wasn't that in passing in the hallway because she was busy going to another meeting. So people can be busy thriving in their career and stuff and still help you out, can still set you up to come up, right? Just in passing, she was like, oh, and by the way, I recommended you to do this because I can't handle doing all this other extra stuff. And I recommended you, but let me know if you want to do it. And if you do, go talk to the other mentor. And she was like, and they'll figure it out. And I was like, what? Like I went home and I was like, y'all are not going to believe this. Now, you have to be careful with that because people start to think certain ways and stuff at work. But I had already been in the acting role doing it before the mentoring and all that had started happening. So I think every time God favored me at work, it became problematic. Again, I'm not just getting these positions because I know certain people and all that. I'm really good at it, and I had to prove myself. So now that I'm at this new job, um, they were giving her a hard time and thought that she just brought me over because she knew me or whatever. But she was like, "But I do know her. I know her work ethic. I know what she's capable of doing." And so one of my first big assignments at work, I started working in March. By the time we got to April, I had did something for them that nobody had did before. And in the meeting, everybody was just so pleased and impressed, like big bosses. And she was like, now do y'all see why I brought her over here? And they were like, yes. And so I thank God for them. And when you have people like that that's riding behind you, that makes you want to show up even more. Like I would never want to have an association with them and I don't show up and do my part and show up as equal as them. Like that it's low key like kind of like the same with my daddy. Like can't nobody when I first started working out there and everybody knew my daddy, it was very much so like I really got to work hard because I don't want people to think that I just I'm just out here because there's people like that. They be out there and they got the jobs because they knew people and they suck at the jobs. They're not good at the jobs. They're not hard workers. They don't have good work ethic. That's just not how I am. My daddy is good character, good work ethic, works hard. So he instilled that in me. And I remember he just told me this recently. He was like, I was worried you was gonna be playing around. It's folks to this day that be telling me like she work harder than you ever did. And I'm like, yeah, because I don't believe in being associated with somebody and you don't represent them well because I was making TikToks about this. I never want nobody to be like, you recommended them, you put them in the room, and it's like you make them look bad. I don't care what the relationship is. I never want to be like that. So anybody I'm calling my mentee, anybody that I'm associating myself with, this is even down to friends. You're not gonna have me out here looking a fool because I associate with you. Even with the men, the relationships, like anybody I have around me is a reflection of what I got going on. So if I have good character, if I'm walking in this power, if I'm doing this, why am I with a man? Okay, let's redirect the live a little bit. Why am I with a man? Everybody knows him for not having good character, not having this power, being manipulative. Why am I dealing with him? And so now that's going to become a reflection of me. Either now I look dumb, I look desperate, or it's something else going. You get what I'm saying? Like that is questionable, very questionable. So even if you're talking about a relationship with the mentee mentoring, I still think there's a level of equally yokedness going on, especially with the purity and the intentions and the power. I got the purity, the intentions, and the power at the level I'm on, but I recognize you as my mentor. You have it at this level, and you're going to be the person that helps me maintain where I'm at now while I get to where you are. And that's how it works with Jesus, because it's Jesus pouring into us at every level, but then it's people he gives us to help us as we graduate and evolve to different levels. Okay, that was not in here. I don't know who needed this, but yeah. Yes, I got really good mentors. I love them very dearly. Love Optimus Prime. Um. Okay, we're almost done. How long have we been on here? I have been very consistent with these 2-hour long lives. Um. So I put one man changed the world, which is Jesus, right? Oh, nice segue, Holy Spirit. I just said that, right? Like, because it's always going to be Jesus mentoring us. Okay, one man changed the world, which is Jesus. And then I put one woman or man can change the bloodline through Christ. So this is back to you having the power in your mere existence. Okay, your birth truly marks the changing of the bloodline. So you didn't understand it. You like I've been having those dreams since I was a little girl. And so something had started telling me then, like, that had to be familial. Like, ain't no way. Like, who would have known about me to be I'm having dreams and stuff like this. Now, do I think I know at this age where it was coming from? Absolutely. Do I think it's crazy for a beautiful baby to be born in anybody's family and it's just hate off rip because they know that baby is destined for certain things? I was listening to an older Stephanie Word at some point, and she was saying how lost my train of thought. Am I not supposed to share that? Oh my goodness. I lost my train of thought. I was talking about the bloodline. How you can be born, beautiful baby can be. Oh, got it. She was saying how in your family, you know what gifts run in your bloodline. So for me, it's dreams. The same way I've had dreams, and God has identified in me which children are going to be doing what stuff about them, stuff they've gone through, how they're going to end up. God shows me that in dreams. Like He literally just showed me one of my little cousins was going to be powerfully anointed, right? Like I was like, yes. So in my mind, that means I pour into them. I'll be there for them when they need to talk about different things. I'm a good example while God raises them up and stands them up with the understanding that one day, because each generation is supposed to be better than the next, one day she may be actually towering over me and should very well be towering over me in the spiritual realm, right? Like she should have reached new heights because I saw an old Facebook post I made and I was talking about how it's a blessing that you're able to break the curse. So it's easy to get mad at the people in the past who didn't, right? But you also have to understand, like with my parents, if I was I was put in a position to be able to break different things emotionally and spiritually because of what they broke physically and financially. Does that make sense? So you have to be able to thank God for what they broke, because had they not broke it, you wouldn't have been in the position to break even more. That is a very mature, healed mindset to have with generational curses, because some bloodlines, and I'm pretty sure y'all can think of some people, is stagnant. They grandmama and them own what their great grandmama and them was on, and now the next generation is on that, and the kids they had is definitely on that. That is a stagnant generation or bloodline. My family is not stagnant, not between my daddy and me. And you get what I'm saying? I know them three people right there ain't nothing stagnant. I'm learning different things than my daddy learned. My nephew's learning different things than I have learned. Ain't nothing stagnant about that. And it may be different things, but it may be people in the family sprinkled in, and they are not with the program. They are not with the progression. They are not with the evolution. And so in the video, Stephanie was saying, when you know y'all have certain gifts, all of us dream. All of us dream. Now, whether or not you dreaming and you're pure and you trying to work for the Lord, or you dreaming and you one of those people, and how I'm telling you, God is showing me these beautiful things about my mentors, and not even just them, but people I love, and I wake up and I'm genuinely happy for them, or you one of them people and God is showing you stuff and now you're trying to destroy them. You're trying to block that. So she was saying how they probably dreamt about you, who you're going to end up with, where you were going to be, right? And instead of them even informing you of that, encouraging you of that, speaking life over you so that it would help you get there, all they've done this whole time since you were a little child is try to stop that, try to break your spirit. Do you understand what I'm saying? That's crazy work. That's crazy work. But all it takes is one person partnering up with Jesus and everything can change. And I told my mom that the other day. I was like, the blood is definitely different. That stuff ain't happening. And I want my husband to be in that place with the stuff going on with his family. I'm not saying I don't want my husband to hate his family. I hope my husband is from a family where he didn't have to cut them off like that. I had to. But that's when y'all have both did the work, the healing, and you've been obedient to Christ. And now when you have children, their blood is truly going to be different. Truly going to be different. That's how I can look like somebody from past generations, but I ain't nothing like her. Because my daddy and them were obedient. My daddy and them did some healing, more healing, and it made my blood different. Do you get what I'm saying? So yeah, Stephanie was saying that, and I was like, I really feel like that's what was happening. Because I'm like, you telling me all of y'all have these same gifts I have. Some of y'all are preachers, and nowhere in here God told y'all to stop treating me like that. I don't know what God you serving. That's very confusing for me. You're telling me you dream just like how I dream, and something told you to get up this morning and try to break my spirit. Ain't no way in hell that's what's happening. Somebody's lying, okay? So Twitches, I was saying, I think I've already said all that about Twitches. Like they literally killed the darkness or destroyed the dark or defeat, because he wouldn't destroy it. Defeat the darkness when they were born. That babies, brand new, fresh, soon as they're born, laughing, giggling. They daddy loved them, sacrificed for them, gave him their power, whatever. And it made the darkness flee. They were babies. What did they know? Nothing. It was just pure power. And that's what the mom said. It would have been dangerous for them to be around as such powerful little babies. Now, how is a newborn baby that powerful? It's the purity, right? Then I put some people resonate with villains, and that's never been me, but I know people that are like that. Like, you know that post on Facebook and people jokingly are like, I knew something was wrong with me when I wanted Swiper to take Dora stuff. Yeah, you should have known something was wrong with you, because most normal little children, when they watch Dora, they get turned up about Swiper, right? Like I always think back to my I have lived 100 lives. I always think back to my baby in my early 20s when I was playing Bonus Mommy, and me and her would be watching Dora, and she would get turned. She hated Swiper. Like, leave Dora alone. No, Dora, that's how most people act. But there are people who resonate with the villains. I was talking to this one girl one time, and we were talking about Transformers, because I love Transformers. I actually talked to one of my friends about Transformers this week. But me and her were talking about it, and she said she liked Megatron. I knew then I would never trust her. What do you mean you like Megatron? Because every time I watch Transformers, Megatron's getting on my nerve. He's giving miserable, and he's evil, and he's always trying to hurt the good people. You like Megatron? I don't need to be around nobody that resonates with the villain, that can relate to the villain, that likes the villain. You are not my type of person. That is not true power. The hero is always the people in the movie that got heart. Every time. What do you mean you like the villain? That's not real power. That the villains are always bullies, intimidating, harassing, all of that. Watch people like that. And then I already said this other stuff. They become obsessed with attempting to balance it out, but they will never truly or permanently succeed in it. Balance out the power. You ain't never gonna be greater than the God in me. Ever. You ain't never gonna be greater than a God in me ever in your life. You're never gonna devil people he hopping in. It don't matter. You're never gonna be greater than the God in me, and His purpose will always prevail. Everything you intended for my harm, He intended it for my good, and He's gonna use it to save people. You're never gonna be stronger than God. Who? Nobody. You are never gonna be stronger than God. Even we watch the movies and we know, like, surely they're gonna make it out of this. The Autobots are gonna survive. The Avengers are gonna survive. Just like, oh my gosh, Endgame, and it was like the Avengers didn't survive. Like, what is it? We even believe that with fictional stuff. Like, okay, if you can believe that, and that's what I've said, the magic really do be in believing. If you can believe that about the Avengers and the Autobots, I really hope we can believe that at the end of the day about our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. You will never defeat him. Ever. Even if you think, because I love that video where it's like Satan, when he thought Jesus was dead and he hyped and he turned up and having a dance party. That's how your fake friends and fake cousins be like, yeah, I got her down bad. I got that man out her life. Yeah, yeah. And then, oh God, I can't see her. And then, oh God, she's happy. She's smiling. She got a new man. I got 3. Worry about yourself. You know what I'm saying? But that's how they are. You thought you killed me off. It was never that. It was never that. And every time I move on, it's to a better, finer man. Okay, that's me being funny. But that's what it's always going to be. You ain't never going to keep me down. And so Jesus, he thinks Jesus is down, but Jesus really is, he down. All right, he down, he in hell, whatever you need to believe. But what he came back with, them keys, oh, that power and authority, oh, that true anointing, oh, heaven and earth and hell, he had all that. Oh, okay. Then you looking stupid because you thought I was down. You wanted me to be down so bad. Look at you, still going to hell with the false prophets. Look at you. We have to believe that and be that hype about our lives and have that much belief when it comes to our lives. The power will never balance. Ever. It is never going to be that. God is always going to be up here. God is always going to be up here. The devil is always going to be down here. That is his fate. And anybody being influenced and inspired by the devil, that's their fate too. I influence because of the Most High. He equips me to influence. That's who gave me my ability, my gift to influence. I inspire because of God. It's people out here really influenced and inspired by the devil. They can relate to the villain. That's weird to me. That's strange. That's odd. And again, it humbles me. Like, God, thank you, I'm not them. Okay. Bullying and harassment is an attempt to throw off the power balance. And the last sentence is, so I've shared this with y'all before. One of my favorite people in the world, he always told me in the past or maybe a couple times future that I always possess the wholeness that most people do not have. And for the longest, I think we both thought that was attributed to my parents. Now, I'm not saying that does not help with it. However, it's who my parents are too, because I feel like we can get lost in the sauce of thinking people are great because their parents were together and they grew up in the house of their parents together. That is not true. My worst ex parents was in the house together. Can't stand them, right? But it's not about that. It's the quality of your parents. It's the love in the house between your parents. It's the faith of your parents. That absolutely did help me be the type of woman I am. But my wholeness and my heart has ultimately always been because of God. It didn't matter about the other circumstances. Just like I told y'all, my daddy was like, nah, I'm pretty sure you would have been like this regardless. Like, it's who you are, Megan. You would have been straight regardless of the circumstances. I'm just blessed and fortunate that my parents are obedient and faith-filled, because that did give their children a different level of life to live. Thank God. But that never negated the fact that their children had to learn how to obtain and maintain certain blessings. Think about the people you know and their parents are straight, but then why are you not straight? I don't understand, because they never learned how to be their own people. People really are warped in thinking. A lot of people think just because their parents they don't have to maintain and not also maintain, but you got to keep it going and grow it so that the next generation, you know what I'm saying? Everybody don't think like that. But mine always came from God. My heart, that wholeness people saw, even though I was very broken, very sad, very much so going through my own stuff, but nobody ever sees that because of my walk with him. Jesus really does give you joy that people don't understand. Jesus really does carry you through your worst moments. Jesus really does make you treat people right, regardless of how they're treating you. He makes you do that. And so my wholeness came from God. It wasn't just, oh, Megan has good parents. No, I had good parents that took me to church too. Thank you. And gave me that introduction. But it was always his spirit living in me, my own personal convictions. I ain't never been no hoe. I ain't never been no slut. Can't nobody ever say that. I'm not judging you if they can say that about you in your past, but it was never given that. I've always had my head on my shoulders the right way, my head on straight. I've always had good priorities. And it's not me. It is truly the grace of God. So everything everybody saw was because of my relationship with him. Do I think the stuff I went through as a younger child forced me to kind of have that relationship with him? Yes, because who knows who I would have turned out, how I would have turned out if I didn't go through certain things at a young age and it didn't make me cling to him and get to know him. Maybe I would have been different. Maybe I would have grew up seeking attention from bad men, showing my tail. Maybe I would have did that. But because of what I went through at an early age, I got to know him. And because I know him, even though I'm saying this, I do also believe in the perspective of he being me down here like this. But because I got to know him, okay, that's where that wholeness came from. That's where that ability to focus came from. That's where that, I think I need to be doing this. That's where that came from. That's where that sweetness came from. That's where that treating people, that's where that came from. Him. I wasn't out here doing this and that. I had never had a reason to do that because it was my relationship with him. And so my life is different. I feel like people struggle different. I do believe my people on my channel struggle like me. I didn't have certain struggles. I had God help me overcome the people that did have certain struggles and how they treated me. Help, right? That's just how my life is. Help me. That's my hardships. People who had hardships trying to create hardships for me. Now I had certain things, but you get what I'm saying? So that wholeness didn't come from just, oh, my parents was together, and people will think that because they wish that theirs was different thing. That's not where mine came from. It came from the Lord. So everybody can have that wholeness. Anybody can have that wholeness. I got this friend on one of the platforms, I won't say which one, but I know she's been through a whole lot of stuff, and she was just sharing some of the stuff that she went through on there the other day. I'm over there watching this crying. I'm like, oh Lord, help me get it together. But I knew I always liked her. She is pure. That's what people don't understand. You can go through the ugliest, worst things, but if you know God, you are not gonna look like what you've been through. You're not gonna treat people like what you've been through. I just put that on Facebook. You're not even gonna love people like what you've been through. So many people I know, they are most solid, most genuine, most dependable, and people don't treat them good. And they've been through some of the worst stuff. It's not about that. It's about your heart with God. No, I don't gotta be perfect, because it might have been times where I should have been out here acting a fool, right? But I wasn't. I should have been letting loose, because that's 9 times out of 10 the men I date, they always talk about that. Like, you never let loose. I'm like, nah, I ain't gonna do that. That's not in public. Sorry, poo. But I could have been out here doing different things, but it's God. It's literally God. It's not my parents being together, because shoot, she probably more solid than me. She probably more genuine than me. But that's not to say that you have to be perfect to have those other qualities and attributes. Because I know people who are out here doing certain things and they still pure. Like, their heart is pure. That's only from God. Only God can give you a pure heart. My mom and daddy ain't give me no pure heart. God did. Now, did it help that they have pure hearts and they set that example? Yes, but I know people who got really good parents with really pure hearts, really sweet, and they evil. And they grew up with their parents in the house and they evil. So what is that? That's their parents didn't give them nothing, because their mom and them got a good heart, and look at how they act. So that's not it. It's God. And I it's crazy. Did I choose him or did he choose me? Y'all don't got to answer, because it's in the scripture. I didn't choose him. He chose me. God chose me. And I was able to choose him back by his grace, not even my own sense or everything I have is because of him. My wholeness is him. That's it. It's him. Yes, he is definitely restoring the time. What's that? Joel 2. Is it 2 and 25? My mom was just talking about Beauty and CC Wines yesterday. She loved him. But yeah, that wholeness, God, it was never nobody else. It was never nothing else. It wasn't because I never went through nothing. And I'll say this, when we were watching Twitches, people just live different lives. One twin never had nothing bad happen to her ever. Went in the house, told the parents, thank you for never letting nothing bad happen to me. The other twin was like, this is crazy, because this ain't even the worst thing that's ever happened to me. Right? Exactly. And I told my mama, that's what I want my kids' testimony to be. I saw that on the internet, and I ain't changed my mind since I saw it. Sometimes the testimony, because we think the testimony got to be, I went through this really horrible thing and God kept me. I'm not saying that that's not the testimony, because for me, that is the testimony. He's kept me. But some folks, the testimony is because some people feel like they don't have a testimony because they haven't been through nothing traumatic. And that's what the post was saying. Sometimes the testimony is you haven't gone through nothing because of your parents' obedience, because of their faithfulness to me, or because of your obedience, because of your, you know what I'm saying? And that's how my kids' testimony to be. That stuff didn't even have access to me. That stuff couldn't even come close to me. Now, that'll probably be their testimony up until a certain age, because we all gotta suffer and go through stuff. But no. I want my babies untouched. Okay. I went through all my notes. We did it. Go, Holy Spirit! All right. Anything that y'all got? Because I really do need a nap. I've been going crazy all day. What time is it? I have my phone on Do Not Disturb. Aren't y'all proud of me? Didn't hear no dings. 3:30. 3:30. My mama asked me, was I on live? Yes. I'm so proud of me, y'all. I'm usually so distracted. I'm sorry, though. At 2 o'clock, my mama said, "Dang, it's 2 already." That's how I feel. What y'all been doing all day? Okay. All right. I think that's it, y'all. I love y'all so much. Remember, booking is back open for the time being. I don't know when I'm going back to work. I do have my own ideas around it. Um, and availability usually always changes in December, anyways, because of the holidays. Yeah, don't do it here publicly. You can do it. You can do a Bay Talk. I put those specifically for if anybody from YouTube just wants to catch up. And I added on add-ons. I think I did all this in January, but then like I haven't even had a chance to do anything I wanted. That's why I'm really glad that the shutdown happened because January through March, Morgan's wedding, March through September, adjust to a new job. And so it was like as soon as I kind of got to like, okay, what do I want to do? I had to go back and resume what I had thought about and set up in January when I was fasting. Then the government shut down. And when the government shut down, I was like, oh, I'm finna rest, baby. And I have did that this month. I fasted, I regrouped, I reset. I'm like, I feel like a brand new person. Literally. Thank you, Jesus. I would have been extra straight had I had a second to cry and grieve and stuff properly this year, but I didn't have a second. This shutdown was the second. And I will also say this. Every time it seems like the world is in shambles, I feel like God blesses me tremendously. So it's at a point to where it's like when stuff going crazy, I be like, oh, what you finna send me? Because that's what always happens. I hate that people are struggling and going through stuff. I really do because I was telling my daddy, I was like, right now, I'm okay. We don't know how long it's gonna last, right? But I feel like he blesses me when the world be in shambles. And I know I needed this. And my other friend, everybody may not be agreeing, but she was going through a lot. And I was actually a little overwhelmed by what she was going through before the shutdown. Because I am like a lead. And she is my counterpart lead elsewhere. And she was going through a lot. And I checked on her this week. I hadn't talked to her since October the 1st. I checked on her this week and she was like, Megan, when I tell you this government shutdown was in my favor, I was like, I'm right there with you. Like mine too. And it don't always feel like that because COVID was crazy. But I was like, I see what you did, God. I see what you did. And I feel like that right now. I'm like, who knew I was going to not work for a whole month? I didn't know that, but Lord knows I needed a break. So I'm really grateful because I really have had a chance to like regroup. I be going too hard, knowing I need to sit down, knowing it's okay to not do this stuff right now, but I still be feeling the need to do stuff. And I just needed the break. Now I feel like I can come back like, yeah. But I didn't feel like that before. He did. He knew. He knew. He knew. But yeah, we can book. I think I put morning and night for most days. But not too early in the morning because I've been going back to the gym. Thank God. It felt like when I tell y'all, it felt like something had invaded my body. And I kept telling my mom and them that. Like, I was like, I don't know. Like, I kept saying, like, this don't feel like my body. I said that a lot. And then it just felt like someone was trying to take over. It was stress. It was inflammation. And I finally feel like I'm getting my body back. Just like that sinus infection I told y'all from hell. I had that sinus infection for a long time. Like, even to the point to where Morgan's husband was like, ain't you been sick since? Exactly. That did not go away for like a whole year because I was so stressed so my body couldn't fight it. And then in this month of being off, also on the live, I misspoke. I kept saying August and I definitely meant October. But this month, my body has finally had the time to adequately rest so it could fight off all the stuff from 2024. Shout out to the Lord. Also, I'm so transparent because I am so like, I would never do nothing weird. I would never prey on nobody who is transparent. Like I might PRAY, but I'm not gonna PREY. I've been thinking about the Divergent series and how I am so sorry. I was doing some good stuff at the gym this week, but I was thinking about the Divergent series and how they were trying to figure out how to take Chris down. And so they had to study her and they had to ask a boy who be around Chris. And he was like, she's a walking, breathing heart. All you have to do is this and da da da. And so it made her predictable. Yeah. I bet y'all didn't predict me when you walked this year, did you? Ha! Predict that. But it's still certain things I need to work on. It's more days. I think originally I only had Kiki, I really can't even tell you what they said before. I have availability Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And I think Saturdays are reserved for the jump start. So I have all the days on there. And I have mornings and nights because I knew it was another sister in Christ who could never book with me because she lived in Cali and the times just didn't work because when she was available, I was not available. When I was available, she was not available. And so I hope she sees this because she can definitely book now. Also, everything else aside, I was at my mom and them house last night and I forgot I had took some candy when I left. And so before I got on live, I went in my purse to get something and I saw the candy. I love these. I love these so much. But yeah, simple stuff. Yes, just book and we will talk then. You don't have to add on an add-on if you don't want to. But I do ask that if you want to add on, that you give me 24 hours to finish it for you. Ah, thank you. I really was very happy about these. I was like, I got candy. I forgot. Life is good. I used to tell y'all I was scared to admit that I was happy. I don't feel like that no more. Because I just knew certain family members and people would just try to, they do too much whenever I am happy. Yeah, well, I cut them off. And even if they weren't cut off, I wish they would try to interfere. I actually don't wish they would, but it's kind of like there's a shift. The power will never balance. Will never balance. All right. Probably gonna go watch Twitches too. Love y'all. See you later. Bye.